Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a very exciting episode 170 of NerdPod Generations. As always, I am one of your illustrious hosts, Steve Taylor, along with the always lovely Al Jetsam. Hello, sir.
Hello, friends and enemies.
It's our big NFL show, man.
It's
I look
that
forward
time
to
of
this
year.
every year.
So here's the thing. I love this show. I love doing this episode of the show. I hate it every time it comes around because that means we are through summer and somehow already into the fall. And, this is like the fourth time this has happened to us doing this show. How many NFL shows have we done? I think we've done a few at this point. But
It's 2025, so it's been at least 5?
Something like that.
4 or 5, something
4 or
like
5,
that.
yeah.
But, see, I'm the opposite. Like, I love the fall. I hate the summer. I'm done with this heat and humidity.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, this is super exciting because it means apples, cider, football,
sweaters.
Oh, sweaters. Oh,
yeah.
It's the best.
No, see, I agree with all of those things. It's the passage of time that bothers me. It's that, oh God, it's September 2025. Oh, no. That's the part that gets me.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Understand. All right, ladies and gentlemen, NerdPod Generations, episode 170. That means there are 169 previous episodes of pure gold. So please go back and listen to them. You can find them at Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can find us on nerdpodgen.com. There is a link on the main page to whatever the most recent episode is. There are also links to Spotify and to Apple Podcasts. There are also links to YouTube, which Al's been uploading little snippets and episodes of the past and present. And right now, we are going to start our show, our big show, with a little segment we like to call Watch, Play, Read. And what have you been watching, playing, reading? I am going to begin because Al's is going to transition into our main topic.
I have off-field football drama.
Yes.
To secondhand report on.
Oh,
and
I'm excited about this. Okay. So, real quick shout out to, I played Fortnite the other night with my son and one of his friends who's supposedly epically good at Fortnite, and I got 2 more kills than him in the game we got, and we got a victory royale, yes on daddy. Second thing, I watched last night, I had this opportunity where I was by myself and I didn't have any children around me, so I watched The Gentleman, which I have not seen in a little bit.
God, I love
Dude,
that
it was
movie.
so good. I think, like, it's tough to put it on my pantheon. I would put that in my top 25 probably favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Like, that's how
it's
good
really
it
good.
is.
It's a great movie.
So good.
Yeah.
And just watching it and loving every bit of every scene, of every actor. It is, once again, it's weird how it turns out, but it is my favorite Colin Farrell performance, my favorite Matthew McConaughey performance, my favorite Charlie Hunnam, is that how you say his name?
I think.
Performance. Yeah. Like, those 3, easily my favorite performance. Yeah. I'm not going to say Hugh Grant, because I do like him in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I just love how off character he's playing.
Oh, hugely off character.
He's been playing himself for over 20 years now.
Yes.
And in this, he plays like how Hugh Grant appears to all the rest of us.
Yeah.
Instead of how Hugh Grant performs himself to all of us.
I love it.
So it's absolutely brilliant. I just love when Fletcher is going around this brilliant apartment and he's just pointing out all these fancy things that he wants to have. And it's just forcing Charlie Hunnam to continuously, oh, is that Wagyu? Oh, I'd love some Wagyu. I'm so hungry.
When he walks away to go get the steaks and Hugh Grant touches the grill, oh!
Yeah.
That's hot, That murders me every time.
Yeah.
I laugh my ass off because it's like he really, as good a private detective as he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
Just watching him do that made me die.
The scene where they're pulling the body out of the freezer and he walks in from coming to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there holding his fly, watching this body walk across.
I forgot to wash my hands. It's so fucking good. No, but that's what I love is even the bit characters are so fucking good. And the youth in it, like, they did such a great job of making the...
Oh, God, I love that scene.
Well, they're very much like, do you ever see Attack the Block?
Yeah.
It reminded me so much, like, all the youth in this are just douchebag assholes who want to be gangsters.
And you have these 2 great youth groups. So you have the boxers, who are amazing. I love the boxing
they're
boys.
So fucking
They're so good. But then I love that scene where Charlie Hunnam chases down the kids that were recording them with the Russian oligarch's kid.
Yes.
And he's like, I will pay you for your phone. And all these teens are like, "Oh, he's trying to steal your phone, man! Like, what's
Dude.
going on? You think you're hard, dude?" And he pulls out this minigun, and he's like, "I could have paid you for the phone. I'm taking the phone either way."
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so fucking good. And I'm one of my favorite lines in this movie still is a Colin Farrell line. And for those you who are listening, words are different in England.
Yes.
When the one boxer yells to the other boxer, "What are you doing, you black cunt?" And he goes, "Is that racist?" He goes, "Well, you are black and you are a cunt." So I think I was dying. I'm like, that is so brilliant writing. And once again, folks, that C word is differently used in England.
Yeah,
it does not mean what it means here.
We were just watching a John Oliver piece from a year ago about UK elections,
Oliver,
and it's always such a tightrope to walk with Oliver because you go there and you're like, "Oh, this will make me laugh," and also feel deep.
Yeah.
Endless depression.
Really make you pissed.
Yeah. But we were watching one on the UK elections because, hey, not my circus, not my monkeys. I'll watch someone else's circus be on fire. That sounds great. So he goes over how ubiquitous that word is.
Yes.
And what it means in English culture versus American culture.
Yes. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love that movie. I cannot stress enough for those of you listening who have not seen it. Just watch it.
Yeah.
You will be thankful. I was one of those ones that I had a couple friends that were really talking it up, and I'm like, Guy Ritchie has really not really hit a good one since Snatch.
He was stumbling there for a long
Yeah,
time.
like the Sherlock Holmes are all right.
The Sherlock Holmes were good. King Arthur is
it's a movie.
It's a acquired taste.
Yes.
You have to be into that kind of thing.
I agree.
You have to be into watching these 40-something-year-old actors who should be 20-something-year-old actors perform these roles that you know but are also kind of Robin Hoodified. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, man, the entire cast of this movie should have been way younger.
No, I agree.
It should have been way younger. I love that movie, but the cast of that movie is hilariously too old. So, when Littlefinger shows up as the archer, and you're just like, dude, you're like 60.
Yeah.
Why are you Galahad? This is crazy pants.
That was weird.
Anyway, I agree. I love that movie.
It's a A++.
I love that that it has all of these various masculine prototypes, but that they have nuance to them. And so you have Matthew McConaughey, who is like this gruff gangster, but he loves his wife. He's not like a gangster who
and he's not
loves
like,
his wife.
You're my woman.
You're not. He doesn't see her as his property.
She's the queen.
He sees her as his better.
Yeah.
He knows that she is better than him at everything.
Yep.
And that he has everything because of her. And it's like, okay, I like that.
And like, there's that scene where he's smoking weed with her like foreman.
Yeah.
And she comes in the office and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Why are you fucking with my foreman?"
Yeah. And he's like,
and the foreman's like, "Sorry, boss."
Yeah. And
Not to him.
And then she tells Matthew McConaughey, "All right, make tea and put the kettle on."
Yeah.
So he goes to make tea.
He goes and does it.
He's the big boss. And she's like, "No, you're fucking doing that."
Yeah.
Love it.
I love that Charlie Hunnam is this hard, he's a wartime consigliere who has real, actual OCD problems.
Yes.
Not like, oh, we're going to make him OCD to make him interesting. Like that scene where Matthew McConaughey takes him aside and Charlie Hunnam is like, "I cannot go in there. I can't do it. The germs, the everything, I can't do it." And Matthew McConaughey is like, "I understand. I need you to grow the fuck up about this right now. And we can have a conversation later about all of this, but for right now, I need you to do this."
And what I also liked is his sexuality
is very
gray area.
Yeah.
Because he has that, I'm going to use quotations because I have the same qualities. He has that effeminate where he's got to be clean. He's got to be dressed well. He can't ever be dirty. And it's like everything has got to be like really meticulous. And
everything is really nice.
Exactly. But it was so ambiguous. And I'm like, I love that about it because once again, this is what we always talked about. It doesn't always have to be about sex.
Yeah. Even Fletcher kind of jokes about it and offers to have sex with him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I love it.
It's great. It's so I love that movie. I love that movie.
To go with your and this is going to be a little tangent. One of my favorite characters written for television, film, or whatever, on a show that I don't like because I think it is overly trying to be masculine and whatnot. The show Yellowstone.
Yeah.
The character Rip is so fucking good because he is this hard ass who is a cowboy, but just like you're saying, he loves Beth. He'll do anything for her. He will do anything for the people he works with if they're family. And he has that character quality where he's this super masculine guy, but something as simple as John Dunn, the lead character played by Kevin Costner, in a letter refers to him as his son, and he starts crying. And it's like, no other character in that show has that kind of emotional range. And that's why I don't like the show. It's like, Kevin Costner's character is a fucking joke. Like, it's something that somebody's like, all right, let's figure out a douchebag guy and just write it. And there you go. The character Beth, she's this over-the-top, like, way over-the-top character chewing up scenery. And so the show itself I don't like, but I will watch clips of just him because it is this golden character in this island of shit. And it's just amazing that you can see that kind of shit. And once again, we see it in a movie where it's well done all around.
Yeah.
But it is something I've noticed more.
We need, like, we've had kind of this in and out footsie game with being serious. We need to change how masculine characters are portrayed.
Yes.
Because it's bad. The toxicity is so bad that there are times where I'm like, I don't know if I identify as a man, because what being a man has become in the culture is so far from what I identify being a man as.
Well, and I think the starting point, I've never liked the term toxic masculinity, because once again, that can be used against what you're going for, because then men that are truly the ones that fit that demographic are using the title to turn other men who maybe don't have the intellectual capacity to understand they're being manipulated into that.
Yeah.
When instead of a toxic masculinity, they're just being an old word that I love, a douchebag.
Yeah.
And that's all they are. They're just douchebags.
Yeah.
And it's like they're idiots. And most of them, like, you look at the person that most people look there at as, like, not most people. The idiots on the right look at the pinnacle of masculinity is Donald Trump, who is the most unmasculine human being.
He wets his pants.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to put this for you, man.
Spray on tan, for fuck's sake.
Yes.
Like, he is the worst example of masculinity.
No. Have you seen how small his hands are? I bring it up because if he was actually masculine, he would joke about how small his hands were. Yeah. Like, being masculine is understanding your weaknesses and being comfortable with them and trying to grow with them. There's a sense of honor and decency to doing the right thing. Yes. And it's not about doing the easy thing. It's about doing the right thing. Yes. This is why I get so mad about the Acolyte being like, the Jedi are all evil. No. You're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Yes. You gotta stop. You gotta stop doing that. I really, when I see masculine characters that I gravitate towards, it's ones that understand the struggle, but part of the struggle is holding back. That's why it's a struggle. Yes. And so it's about controlling yourself and controlling what you can do, but also being a service to literally everyone else in the world. And the selfishness that just comes about, and the arrogance, and the I'm owed this nature of masculine culture is just such bullshit, and was such a big problem for me in my life for so long. That idea of, I'm a nice guy, I deserve to have the woman I like me back, simply because I'm a nice guy. Dude, it doesn't fucking work that way.
No, not at all.
And you are not owed jack shit. You are doing the baseline minimum to be a good person.
Yes.
You don't get a parade for doing the baseline minimum, okay? And if someone falls in love with you, that's awesome, but you don't get to control who that is.
Exactly.
And you don't get to claim another person as your property. If you want...
And this is going off of what you were saying about the gentleman. True masculinity is understanding there are psychological and physical differences between men and women. Appreciating the differences, but then not using them as like a superiority over females.
Recognizing that it's a two-way street.
Exactly.
There are things that women do that are way better than what men can do. And there are things that men can do that women just aren't capable of. It's usually, in my experience, a physical mental pull. Men are physically more capable of doing certain things, lifting heavy weights and whatnot.
Yes.
Not to say that women can't do that, but just to say if you
took... No, but I mean, just physiologically...
Physiologically, if you
the
took...
testosterone gives you that strength.
If you took two people of the same age and the same workout regimen... the man would probably be able to lift more than the woman on average.
Well, and like I'll use the Serena Williams. Years ago there was this big uproar because John McEnroe said Serena Williams would be like the 108th best female player, or if she played against the men, she would be like destroyed. And everyone gave him all this shit. But then she went on a talk show and said, if I played Andy Murray, he would beat me in 10 minutes 6-0, 6-0. Because it's just different. And you gotta appreciate the differences.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to make them the same.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with this toxic masculinity. They think, well, we can do all this stuff and we might be able to do these things better than women. Well, this woman does better than you. Well, we don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We just worry about the stuff that I can do better.
Yeah.
And that's so fucking stupid.
That's stupid.
And that's why we're in the position we're in the world
Exactly.
right now.
Well, and especially going back to what I was saying is like this idea that women are mentally more capable, especially early on. But I would say, generally speaking, women have a better, more rounded worldview, which you can go into the nature versus nurture thing. You can go into, in ancient times, men had to be strong and make decisions quickly, and all. I don't know what garbage you're going to pull it, but like, there's arguments to be made for all of it. But the fact of the matter is that in my entire life, all of the women I've known have been way smarter than the vast majority of the guys, and way more emotionally competent. Women have been able to stomach a male-led film society for over 100 years, is because, I used to be that guy who would say like, oh, well, anybody can take anything out of any movie, which I still believe. Going to Captain Marvel, which we talked about a little while ago, this idea of like, this is a movie that really aims towards women more than men, and is that right? Is that okay? Are you dividing your audience? But that's what movie studios have been doing for women for decades. They just aim everything at men, and then women just get to pick up whatever's left over afterward. Or once every generation, you get a Douglas Sirk who comes in and is like, I'm going to make movies that are more interesting to women. And it's like, okay, cool, whatever. You and Rock Hudson have a fun time. I'm glad. Good for both of you. I'll be over here with Steve McQueen. I don't know what, So, like, anyway, my point being that we gotta knock this shit off. And going back to that idea of bad role models, you watched the beginning of Peacemaker.
Oh, my God.
We talked about this just before the show. We were just talking about this before the show, and I was like, hang on, put a pin in this.
Okay.
This needs to go on the show.
So I watched the first episode of Peacemaker. This is going to be some spoilers, folks, so I'm warning you right now. I loved the first season.
Yes.
Primarily because, A, it was different from what we've been seeing in the superhero genre.
Yeah.
It had my all-time favorite superhero character, new character, being a vigilante, who was fucking spectacular. And it just told a unique story.
Yeah.
And that's why I liked it. This one starts, well, first off, they changed the ending of the last season where he's walking out with Vigilante carrying Amelia, who is like his love interest.
Yeah, his quote-unquote.
And the Justice League shows up, and you see like the highlight of everybody, but it's just the Flash and Aquaman who actually speak. And it's pretty funny, and they blow him off. Well, they start with that ending, but they have the Justice Gang now. And it's fucking stupid.
And it's Hawk Girl and Green
Lantern. And it's the joke they say makes no fucking sense. It's fucking stupid. So right there and then I was like, I don't have a lot I'm looking forward to with this.
Yeah.
And then it rolls into he is trying to join the Justice Gang.
After blowing them off.
He's trying to join the Justice Gang. And he's going to a interview. And it's filled with terrible jokes. It's really fucking stupid.
And Sean Gunn's here.
Sean Gunn is the one leading the interview, and it's like he's the one doing the joke.
The idea that Maxwell Lord is the benefactor of the Justice League it does make my stomach turn a little bit.
It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And it's, they're throwing out these little connective lines to the Superman movie, and it's like you're just pigeonholing those little, like, some of the dialogue that connects it just doesn't fit, and it doesn't make sense.
It's almost like the original was from another universe, and then now we're trying to kind of squish it into this universe.
Exactly. And the big take of this first episode is Peacemaker goes into his alternate dimension where he has his helmets and everything, and it's not just the room for his stuff, it's this massive, almost like nowhere from Guardians, that has these different doors, and that's almost like Monsters Inc. now I think about it, that lead to these different universes. And, like, he sees an alien, and he tries to say hi, and the alien blows him off, and he gets all mad. And it's like, okay, that's fucking dumb. Well, he finds the door, because Eagly wants to fly, and it's snowing outside, so he lets Eagly fly around in this alternate dimension, and it finds a door that it wants to go in. And he goes in it, and it's an alternate dimension of his family, where his father and brother both live, and the three of them are a superhero trio.
Mm-hmm.
And it's... this alternate universe, weird. I wasn't a massive fan, and then I once again, this is going to be spoilers, folks. He runs into himself, who is like the actual Peacemaker from the other universe, and then accidentally kills him.
Oh, here we go. Now I got to pretend to be
But
him.
that's how the episode ends, and so you're like, oh, okay. But it's like I'm watching it now, like none of this is good. They have this really long, drawn out orgy scene at his house, because when he gets turned down by the Justice Gang, he goes home and does all the drugs, cocaine, like you name it, he does all these drugs, and then all of a sudden there are 40 naked people, completely full frontal, men, women, everything, doing sex, guys jerking off. Like, it is uncomfortable to watch, you know. And this is coming from a guy that when I was a kid, I would look in the TV guide to see if a movie had nudity, just so I could watch it to see nudity. And I'm watching this like, oh, I don't feel right. Like, it's the boys.
Yeah.
They are trying to be the boys now.
And this was the moment I was like, we got to record this for the show, because this is what always happens.
Yeah.
Is the boys... DC is DC, and everybody knows it for generations.
Yes.
And then the boys always comes along and says, we're going to just take all of DC's shit and just make it ribald, and this is what Superman would actually be like, and this is what Batman would actually be like, and this is what Wonder Woman would actually be like. But we're not going to transform those characters. We're just going to make carbon copies of them and splat them over here and be like, but this is what superheroes would actually be like. And it poisons the water hole. That whole thing that I was talking about in our review of Superman saving civilians.
Yeah.
As part of the storytelling, he has to save civilians. Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
But the reason that became a question was because of shows like The Boys, which became very popular for this, like, stark, dark look of, oh, civilians are just killed all the time.
Yeah.
Invincible, same thing, of just civilians are just killed all the time in superhero events. And it's fucking depressing.
Yeah.
And much like The Simpsons and Family Guy, The Simpsons was around for fucking forever. And then Family Guy came in and pretty much made a bad Xerox of The Simpsons. And then The Simpsons somehow turned into Family Guy in order to compete with Family Guy.
Yeah.
And you're just left being like, what the fuck? Like, I get it, but at some point you leaned in. At some point you said, yes, this is the direction. Okay, this is what the fan want. Then this is what the fans get.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Disney saying, oh, I thought everybody wanted Elio and stuff like that. That's fully original and not based on anything. I guess you guys don't actually want that, huh? And it's like, you got...
Well, we want it, but you got to make it good.
You got to and you got to advertise it. And you got to do all these other things that make people interested in it.
Yes.
Did you stop and wonder why people weren't interested in this particular project? Or did you just assume it was because it wasn't based on something? And so they immediately checked out because they didn't know the source material because it was all original.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, dude, you're missing the point of this. You're fully missing the point of this. And that's what it sounds like DC has kind of become, well, and that's what at least for Peacemaker.
I'm so worried about it because I'm so looking forward to it. I mean, you know how much I love the first season.
Yeah.
The only good part of this episode is there is a scene where Vigilante contacts John, who is the bespectacled IT guy on their team, and it's this really fun back and forth where Vigilante is on break at his job, and he calls John, and he's having this conversation with him, and you can tell John is frustrated because Vigilante is just going on, and John makes the statement how Vigilante has called him like every day to have a conversation like this, but then Vigilante's boss comes out, who used to be one of his coworkers, and their back and forth is fucking hysterical, and I loved every bit of that scene. But that was the only part of this episode that I liked.
Yeah.
And that fucking makes me mad. Because even the part where Amelia, they have her she's kicked out of working for the government because of, and I'm not joking, they say she's suffering from toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, I'm like, and even her, she's like, what the fuck? I have a vagina. And they're like, well, and I'm watching this like, this is so fucking dumb. And like, she intentionally gets herself into a bar fight just to get her ass kicked, I'm like, this is so fucking dumb.
Well, this sounds like I don't want to say it's an evolution, but this sounds like another version of her character arc in the first season. The first season, she gets into a bar fight to feel something, which is how she and Peacemaker bond in the first place. Is because he's there and she's there and they get into this bar fight kind of just to feel something. And it's just like, I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't say it's a full retread. But I'm looking over the steering wheel at this, and I'm like, so this is going to be some bit about how he has to pretend to be this other Peacemaker in this alternate universe where his family is aligned, but they're going to end up being evil. Because as we saw at the end of the first season, his dad is literally the head of the Ku Klux Klan in his home universe. So I can only imagine that hasn't changed too drastically. And I fully predict that he's going to wander home and end up wandering into the universe that we understand. And they're just going to have two Peacemakers that kind of point at each other. It's like, oh, we're so similar. We're like crazy similar. Maybe we should switch places. And then
it's just
all of it means nothing.
And then like one of the major plot points of last season was the Leota character, who is
judo fighter, judo master.
No, Leota is what's her face's daughter.
Yes,
Amanda Waller's daughter.
Yes.
And she's like,
I thought you were talking about little Yoda character,
no.
little Yoda.
But she's Peacemaker's pretty much best friend. And
yeah.
Like, the whole side story last episode was her and her girlfriend.
Yeah.
And how her girlfriend didn't want her to be part of this world because she hates the mother, and she knows she hates the mother. Well, now they broke up off screen. And it's because she's become like her mother, and But I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Amanda Waller would not hang out socially with anyone, let alone Peacemaker.
But it's like, what I mean, she became like a mother. It's like she's okay with the violence and the like all that stuff now. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm so taken aback by this first episode that I'm so nervous that this is going to be a terrible season.
This sounds like the reason why I stopped watching Breaking Bad, which is instead of progressing the story, you just do a hard reset and just try and recreate the first season with a few minor changes. When Jesse had his hard reset and goes back on meth, I'm like, God damn it, we spent 4 seasons getting you off meth. And now we're going to hard reset back to the beginning. No, I'm not doing this with you again, man.
The final season's pretty awesome.
I gotta finish it.
Final season's awesome.
But I hate it when shows do that. When they're like, oh, we don't know what... Lost did this with a few characters, where it's like, oh, we don't know what to do with them, so we're just going to hard reset them back a few seasons to how they were when we first met them. And it's like, no, dude, that was the whole point of getting through those seasons, was so that this character could progress and change, not for you to reset them back to another version that is more familiar to us as an audience when we started watching the show, but less familiar to us as an audience from where the character was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. So, frustrating, to say the least. This is only a quick look into our future. Al knows this. I have also started watching Alien Earth.
It's a review
Fucking
to come.
watch this show. We will talk about it more. I'm not going to give you any kind of insight into the first 3 episodes which I watched. Fucking watch this show is all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Watch it so you'll be ready for when we have our discussion.
Yeah, I'm going to take this opportunity to very quickly talk about how I watched Alien Romulus.
Yes.
And I agree and disagree with some of your points, but the largest point was it was really fucking weird having Ian Holm there.
That was so weird.
I did not like it.
Yeah, I know.
I liked his character. I liked what his character brought to the story. I did not like it being Ian Holm. I thought that was weird and wrong. It is very funny that Isabella Merst keeps showing up in our inbox. But I thought she was good in this. I thought that she ended up being a MacGuffin, which kind of sucked. That was not as fun. And, you know, I did kind of agree with a lot of your points of just like, man, this is just a CW Alien movie.
And even the tall alien at the end, reminiscent to the end of Alien Resurrection.
Very reminiscent to the Prometheus. That's what I did like about that. Okay, I knew there was a reason I wanted to talk about Romulus. That's what I did like about Romulus. And what I did like about Ian Holm's character was that it was essentially a studio mandated moment to pull all of these strings together
Yes.
and be like, okay, so the last 3 movies haven't made jack shit sense. They've been crazy and all over the place, and just when you think they're connected, they're not connected, okay? But look at here, it is connected. Because of this movie now, it's going to connect all of these points, and now all that weird black glue from Prometheus and all the nonsense from Covenant, and it's all coming together here. And you're like, okay, simply for that, I like that. I like that element of this movie. I like how there's an element of both fighting facehuggers and xenomorphs. I like the scene where they have to raise the temperature of the room to sneak through because facehuggers read body temperature. I like some of the lore additions to this, but I agree with you. There were elements of it that just kind of fell apart towards the end, like Andy as a character, like I can't remember her name, Cammy or whatever, the main characters. Yeah. There were just elements of it that just didn't fit well, and I do like it more than Covenant and Prometheus. But that's
a low bar.
It's still really not better than Aliens or Alien. So,
well, and I'll tell you, watching Alien Earth has only reaffirmed my criticism because when you watch it, it is what this series needed: a fresh reboot. It doesn't completely reboot it because it's still in that universe, but it is a fresh look and take on it. And that's because the one thing also with Romulus is it just felt kind of samey in a lot of ways.
Oh, it's to the point where when they shoehorn in "Get Away From Her, You Bitch."
Yeah, that made me mad.
That sucked.
That made me mad.
That was so bad. Yeah. And also, we talked about this on during Murderbot. I'm really tired of this analogy where androids are just autistic people. Yeah. I'm really tired of this, man. And then they put a chip in him so he's no longer autistic, but it makes him evil. And so they have to take it out of him again so he can be autistic and good. And it's just like, I hate this, man. This is not cool. This is very not cool. Yeah. And, it didn't work in Predators or whatever the fuck the Olivia Munn one was.
Yeah, no, that was
that
terrible.
Sucked. It's not good here.
The Predator was that one.
And just like, oh, man, I want... Yeah. I
agree with you.
I want there to be elements of this movie to be redone because I do think that this movie helps in a lot of ways because in my mind, Prometheus and Covenant are basically like 12 chapters out of 2 separate books that have several books in between them. Mm-hmm. And so in the world of we're going to increase Aliens' popularity by doing heavy lore. We're going to have the lore be the thing to come to Alien for. We're going to go into all the details of all of everything that happens in Alien and how it all leads to that moment with the xenomorph. I love that in concept, but the way that you went about introducing that lore fucking sucks. Mm-hmm. It's fucking bad, and it ruins everything, and it makes the lore approach look bad because it really does feel like here's a handful of notes from this one book, and here's a handful of notes from this other book, and it doesn't make any fucking sense on its own. And you're like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that seems to have happened off screen. That's fucking crazy because it happened in all these other books in between these 2 novels that we actually got to see. And then you get Romulus, and Romulus is like, okay, we're going to give you the Cliff Notes version of what the fuck is going on. And you're like, okay, I get it now. This is still a hugely flawed movie, but I would give it like a B. I'd give it like a B. I like it enough to buy it for $5. I'd watch it again.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll watch it again. But it was, to see it once, $5 was worth it.
Exactly. I paid less than I would have had to pay to go into the
theater. Yeah. So, a third of the price.
Yeah, exactly. I did want to get something off my chest because I saw an image today, and it made me not happy, and it makes me concerned. So, we have an update.
Me intrigued.
If we can pull over the Greta Gerwig Narnia chart, we have an update to put on it.
Oh, no.
So they've started shooting, and they released images of them shooting. That's fine. I love a promotional image. My issue is that they're shooting at the Tower of London. And they're not shooting the kids at the Tower of London. They're shooting the White Witch at the Tower of London.
What?
So my immediate response to this is, okay, so we're doing The Magician's Apprentice. That has to be it. That can be the only answer. The only time the White Witch goes to London is in The Magician's Apprentice. So that has to be the answer, which would also explain why you cast Daniel Craig as Diggory, right? Because he's the apprentice from The Magician's Apprentice, all grown up later on, and he owns the house where the wardrobe is. The wardrobe made out of the tree that was cut down from the middle space where the witch and the lion and everything else came together, where the old magic was first said. That's why there's a lamppost in the middle of Narnia. It came from southern London. Okay, great, cool, got it. So, looking at this image makes me think, A, this is either they're going to take some of the Magician's Apprentice story and put it in here as a flashback, or B, and way more concerningly, they're going to try and combine The Magician's Apprentice and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, because they have said that this is a Narnia series and that they are currently shooting The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So why would you need to shoot at the Tower of London for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Oh my god.
And it goes back to this punk rock idea that we've been told of this is going to be the punk rock Narnia. So my smell that I'm getting off of this, and again, this is me coming from a point of anger and frustration over many things. But the smell I'm getting off of this is why the White Witch is evil. Let's look and see what the world of man did to her to make her evil. She wasn't bad when she came.
So this is like Cruella.
That's what I think is going to happen. Is the White Witch was never evil until mankind made her evil. And then she went to Narnia and made Narnia bad. And it's like, no, you fucking assholes! You're missing the point! You're fully missing the point again! And I hope I'm wrong! I hope I'm wrong! But why would you need to shoot the White Witch at the Tower of London with a small child in tow? There's so few reasons why that would be a thing to shoot in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe!
This is hurting my brain.
So, I saw that this morning and it made me extremely upset. And I had to carry it around for a few hours. And I was like, thank God I have to do the show today because, God damn it, that really pissed me right off. It's ironic that sales of the books have skyrocketed since Greta Gerwig was announced as the director. I think they are setting themselves up for an enormous failure because it sounds like they're going to have everybody and their cousin read these books because of the name that you attach to the movie. All these Greta Gerwig fans are going to go out and read these books. And then they're either going to cast aspersions on them because they're not friendly to a lot of the young women in the story, which I agree with. The things C.S. Lewis does to Susan are ferocious, and I've always been on record as saying that. But you're either going to get that, or you're going to get this situation where everybody knows the story and then sees Greta Gerwig's version of the story, and they're like, what the fuck is this?
That's the part that drives me nuts. Okay, shit was made in the past that, yes, they did not treat these characters well. Then don't fucking adapt this shit.
Yeah.
Do it the way it is.
Do your own fantasy story then.
Exactly.
Then do your own fantasy story.
Make something up.
Have a woman show up in the middle of Berlin, in the middle of World War I. I don't fucking know, but make something up. If you don't want to adapt what's here, then make something up. There's a difference between making Susan a better character and fully rewriting the entire fucking book. Yeah. And I just feel like, and this is a feel-like statement, which is almost universally wrong, but I just feel like we're moving in a direction of we need to update this for the 21st century.
No.
And so we're going to change all the stuff we don't like about it. And it's like, no, that's not what you need to do. That's the fully wrong thing to do. You should not be doing that. And if that's what you want to do, then just make a Narnia for the 21st century of your own.
Yeah.
If you have this much groundswell because you're Greta fucking Gerwig, then just write your own fantasy series. Okay? Get a bunch of ghostwriters together and write your own fantasy series. But don't do this. Don't go in here and change something that means a whole lot to a lot of people. All right? It will be maddening. And as someone who has had to, I don't want to say survive this with a bunch of pieces that I feel very strongly about, but as someone who has had to correct people about Marvel stuff for the last 15 fucking years, it fucking sucks when the zeitgeist changes about something. Okay? Because if it changes for the worst, that's just how it is now.
Yeah.
And you have to wait until it goes out of the flow of things and you can change it back to the way that it should have been.
And it's like you would think that Netflix, even though Netflix doesn't learn anything, would have learned from the Rings of Power. You can't take a franchise with a name recognition like Chronicles of Narnia, and then alter it completely.
Yeah.
Like that first movie, I put it on the Pantheon along with like the Lord of the Rings.
Great. It's a great adaptation.
It should never be remade.
No.
That movie's perfect the way it is.
It's a practically perfect adaptation of everything. It's so good.
And the special effects hold up. Everything holds up in that movie. It's perfect. Why are you fucking with it?
Don't fuck with this.
Do something else.
Do anything else.
Look what happened when they did it. Now, mind you, Willow is not an original story, but look when they tried to adapt that to modern times, how well that fucking
and not
worked.
only that, look at what Willow was when it was first introduced. Look at it wasn't like Star Wars, but it had an immense cult following.
Oh, absolutely.
People love Willow. People who have seen Willow love Willow.
Yes.
It's the same fucking thing. You might not be the next Star Wars, but if you want to get your message across in the way that you want to get it across, then just write your own fucking thing and leave my stuff alone.
Yes.
Okay?
I agree.
I would rather criticize you for ripping off Chronicles of Narnia than for fully ruining the Chronicles of Narnia.
On top of that, what you're doing is minimalizing the impact of the book.
Yeah.
Because that's not what an adaptation should do. The adaptation should make, like Harry Potter. I watched the movies before I started reading the books. Watching the movie made me go read the books, and then I was able to see how rich the world is in the books.
Yeah.
Watching an adaptation of, like, the Percy Jackson movies, I'm going to use those as an example now. You watch those movies, you go read the book, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck these movies were, but it had nothing to do with the fucking book.
Where did you guys get this stuff?
Same with the Aragon movie.
Yeah.
You'll read the book, you're like, where the fuck is all this shit? Like, it makes no sense. And then you don't want to watch the thing anymore.
Well, anybody who has only watched the sixth Harry Potter movie and never read the sixth Harry Potter book, you're missing some of the greatest action in the entire series.
Oh, yeah.
They cut some of the best action out of that movie simply because they thought that there was already going to be too much action in the next movie, and they didn't want to have two battles of Hogwarts.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is actually wrong with you? And so I'm getting what the fuck is wrong with you vibes from this. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really prefer it when I'm wrong because then I'm happy.
Yeah.
When I'm wrong, I'm usually happy. And when I'm right, I'm usually very sad. And I really hope I'm wrong. But again, if this was just listed as they started shooting The Magician's Apprentice, I would see this photo and be like, fuck, this is going to be cool. Let's see what happens. It's that you said you were shooting the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But this is so very clearly not from that.
Yeah.
And again, if this is, they've said that they're going to make all the books, why would you shoot anything from The Magician's Apprentice now unless you're going to start with it? Because that's either the capstone or the start.
Isn't that the first book, The Magician's Apprentice?
It became the first book.
It
was originally the last book. Gotcha. And then it got reordered to the first book because it takes place before the events of everything else.
That makes sense, then. And
so I guess I just got to know what's your long-term goal, because you've told us you're going to make all the books and that you're shooting Lion, Witch, Wardrobe now, but you have scenes from A Magician's Apprentice.
And here's one of my big problems, and it's nothing against Greta Gerwig.
No, this is nothing. Well, it's not personal yet. We're going to see what she does.
No, but it's not even to me personal. It's you get these folks who make a hit movie in a certain genre.
Yeah.
And then you give them the keys to an epic on the opposite end of the scale. And then it fails, and you're like, well, how did it fail? It's like, because this isn't fucking Barbie.
Well, it's Guy Ritchie. We were just talking about how Guy Ritchie has some real flops on his hands.
Exactly.
What are some of those flops? Fucking Aladdin.
Even though it made $1 billion, which I still.
But as far as critically, it's an enormous flop. That nobody talks about that movie anymore.
Yes, I agree.
And I want to see where all those numbers came from. I know some of them came from America, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of it was a global box office kind of a poll. And none of which would be a thing anymore because Will Smith has fallen so greatly out of favor societally.
That's
so.
True. Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. You don't get to hit people because they make a joke.
Yeah.
That's not how things work. That's not how we handle things in society. If you want to go on, Good Morning America the next day with your Oscar and say, I didn't like that joke Chris Rock told. That's the way you do it.
Story, exactly.
But you don't go up and slap him after laughing at his joke, but then catching eyes from your wife. Mm. That's not how you do things, man. Anyway, I want to see how that goes, but I am concerned. I am deeply concerned. I agree with you. Leaving your wheelhouse is a it can work and it can be a problem. I look at Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele, his wheelhouse was comedy. He left his wheelhouse for horror. He is so fucking good at horror. And it makes sense when you look at some of the comedy he was doing. Those scenes were horror scenes played for fun. Mm-hmm. When you take the fun out of it, it just leaves the horror of it.
Yep.
And so it makes sense. I'm not saying Greta Gerwig is incapable of making this movie. I think she has said that she has the history with the source material to understand it. My issue then becomes, why are you changing anything? If you understand the source material, then you should understand what needs to be changed and what needs to be kept the same.
Yeah.
And really feels like you're changing a lot of stuff, man.
Well, and I think the problem is, and I'm not saying this is her problem, because I don't know, I haven't really listened to any interviews with her. A lot of times these directors, and I'm going to use Fantastic Four stick, was it Josh Tran or whatever?
Yeah.
They get this big hit, and then they get an ego, and then they think that, oh, well, I did this, I could easily do this. Man, it's a different world.
It's a different world. It's a different flavor.
It's a big world you're getting
Some
into.
Of the
not
decisions...
not everyone is Steven Spielberg that can make Schindler's List and then a Jurassic Park.
Well, like,
just not.
I look at, me and Barbie have a ongoing discord between ourselves in terms of how I feel about it. I have very strong, contentious at times feelings about Barbie. I don't feel like some of the nuances used in Barbie would serve in Narnia.
No.
I think that it would be problematic. And
that's kind of a James Gunn thing.
Yeah.
Are you going to take the things that you did in this movie and try to stick it in this movie that they don't fit?
Yeah.
And then it fucking
Well, and like
up.
going back to DC, it's, DC is in the same kind of position of how are you adapting this? What are you focusing on? Mm-hmm. And, let's make sure that we don't fucking ruin stuff. Like Jor-El's legacy, I don't know. That could be something we could very easily ruin with one line of dialogue.
I don't want to even get into that.
But like that's why it's so frustrating. That's why I get so upset when I see this kind of stuff, is because like that's all it takes. All it takes is one movie where we refer to it as the Spider Tingle, and that's it. That's game. We don't get to come back from that anymore. Now we have to wait until that gets out of the water and is siphoned into a river somewhere. And then we can go back to calling it the Spider Sense, as we always should have.
Yeah.
But until then, everybody gets to joke about Spider Tingle. And it makes me so mad every fucking time. Yeah. Because it devalues and debases the character for the sake of a laugh. I really worry about that kind of mentality in this adaptation. I do. I think it's going to be a problem. It's also worth noting that one of the reasons, I don't usually like to give credit to this, but one of the reasons why I recall the first Narnia being the way it was because there was such a stringent push from a myriad of groups, including both conservatives and liberals, over making sure that this was authentic to the source material and not changed for the sake of a buck. And then you look down the road and Disney decide to start changing things for the sake of a buck, and you look at the immediate drop-off of that, where it's like, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is great, Prince Caspian is pretty good, and then,
Dawn Trader was terrible.
Straight into the ground.
That was one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen
in
my
life.
And
it's unreal how fast that falls. Yeah. So I want this to be good. I want to be wrong. We'll see what happens. Okay. So, funny story about the NFL.
Okay.
The NFL is going through a lot of stuff right now.
Quite a bit.
Getting ready for their season, getting ready to kick off. Literally, there's been a lot of talk about various things going on. But I don't want to talk about any of the current stuff that's going on. We'll talk about that in 10 minutes. We'll talk about Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin and all these other things that are happening. Mm-hmm. Dallas Cowboys, whether Jerry Jones should just be locked in a room.
Dude, he's an embarrassment to the league.
Right we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about why the way things are the way things are. Okay. Which is to say that in 2024, there was a hearing between the NFL Players Association, the NFLPA, and the NFL owners. And the NFL owners got caught with their hand in the cookie jar.
Yes.
What happened was, back in 2022, when Deshaun Watson signed the then richest contract of all time, I think it is actually still the richest contract of all time.
For guarantees.
For guarantees.
Yes.
But that's what makes it the richest contract,
Yes.
is that it's a fully 5-year, fully guaranteed contract, something like that. And it's like, when you do that, you have to put money in escrow, so it just sits there.
So that the money can be taken out over the course of the contract. This is a big deal because the NFL is currently the only big sports league that doesn't have guaranteed contracts for their players. The MLB has it, the NBA has it. When this contract went through for Deshaun Watson, the owners got together, and Roger Goodell and his own personal lawyer drafted a letter through the voice of the executive committee, which is like this. Basically, it's like the higher point of all of the owners. So you have all the owners, and then all the owners select an executive committee. So this ownership group basically said it's not in the best interest of the NFL to have guaranteed contracts. And we strongly suggest that teams do not give out guaranteed contracts moving forward, and we do not have this kind of contract like Deshaun Watson's become the standard. So they didn't put their thumb on the scale, but they kind of put their thumb on the scale a little bit.
So at that time, there's 3 quarterbacks coming up that are due new contracts: Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray. Russell Wilson is with the Broncos. He's just come off the Seahawks. That was a big deal trade when he came from the Seahawks. Everybody and their cousin was up in arms over this, and he needed a new contract. They end up signing a contract, and we'll get into the reasons later, that does not have the level of guarantees that he was seeking. And the Broncos write an email internally congratulating themselves about this and how this is going to make everybody else in the league really happy. So that's a problem. That's not great. Then you have Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray comes up for a contract. It's this long back and forth between the two sides. All these stipulations are put into the contract.
The
Call of Duty clause, all this other stuff. He also does not get the guarantees that he's looking for. And after that contract negotiation is done, the owner of the Cardinals, Michael Bidwell, is caught with an email chain with the owner of the Chargers, Dean Spanos, going over how this contract benefits the Chargers, not the Cardinals, the Chargers.
The Chargers.
And in it, basically Bidwell says, "Thanks, Dino. I know this helps you too." And Spanos talks about how now they can have Herbert be the comp for Kyler Murray. Their quarterback, Justin Herbert, can now be the comp for Kyler Murray. And he doesn't have guarantees on his contract. So now Herbert doesn't have to have guarantees on his contract. So it's like, okay, that seems like two groups playing together, not in opposition to each other, not trying to find a way to lure talent over from other groups, which is what the NFL is supposed to be. Then you get to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, one-time MVP at the time, part-time hurt guy, but usually on the field. He doesn't have that bad an injury history.
Yeah, no,
I think he had like a few foot injuries at that point, but nothing major. Still progressing as a player, still showing immense talent as a player. He is up for a contract, and he is representing himself with his mother. It's this big to-do, and he tells the Ravens in no uncertain terms, this is about guaranteed money. I need guaranteed money in my contract.
Which makes sense for a running quarterback like him.
Yes.
The chances of injury.
One injury and that's it.
Yeah.
Which is why the NFL doesn't want to give out these guaranteed contracts in the first place. So the Ravens slap him with the franchise tag. The way that works is that he gets a certain percentage of what he would usually make out of his last contract, and it's a 1-year deal. But other teams can bid against it. They can
outbid it, right?
They can outbid that cost.
Yes.
No one puts in a bid for Lamar Jackson. No one contests this cost that the Ravens have slapped him with. No one offers him a job for a higher salary or anything else, including the Falcons, who at this time don't have a quarterback. At this time, they're coming off the Matt Ryan era. They don't have anybody running their team, really. They decide to go with Desmond Ridder, who has been on 3 or 4 teams since this happened. Whereas Lamar Jackson will that following season go on to win a second MVP. And this last season almost win a third. And the Falcons were like, we don't need him. How is this not about guaranteed money and contracts where the NFL themselves have told all the teams, we strenuously encourage you not to give out guaranteed contracts?
Well, and this kind of collusion, if you think about it, go back a decade, the Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
He was better than 90% of the quarterbacks in the league, but no one would call him.
No one would offer him a job.
And you can't tell me that's not the commissioner talking to the teams and the teams talking to each other.
We strenuously encourage you not to
Exactly.
give Colin Kaepernick the time of day. We think it's more trouble than it's worth, and it's a bad look
Yeah.
for the league. That's all it takes.
Yep.
And it's not collusion because it's just a suggestion, but it essentially is collusion. The arbiter in this case found that while this isn't technically collusion, it is collusive behavior and basically just one step down from full-on collusion.
Yes.
Because they didn't tell them not to do this. They just highly encouraged them not to do this. And it's a boys' club. It's a group of men who all know each other and all talk and hold animus against each other when this kind of thing happens. So now the immediate question after this is, why hasn't this come up? Why isn't this the first topic on SportsCenter every day? Well, because it got buried. Why did it get buried? That's the question we're all trying to get to the bottom of. Because the NFLPA knows they won this. The NFL players do not. The NFLPA, before any NFL players, including the three I was just talking about, could see this report. None of them knew that it was written down anywhere. None of them knew any of this. The NFLPA, who is supposed to be looking out for the players, it's the players' union, suppressed it and agreed to suppress it with the NFL. And it basically took, in a twist of irony, I started listening to Pablo Torre Finds Out because he was covering the fall of Bill Belichick in the public sphere. And I was like, ha ha ha, Hoodie's dying on the side of the road. Love it. Turns out Pablo Torre is a fucking great journalist because he tracked down what no one else could. And he published it. And it's on his Substack. And you can go and read it. And apparently several NFL owners have frequented it. And he can see who's been reading it, and he sees that there are some bigwigs reading his piece. What it comes down to is essentially the NFLPA is even more corrupt than the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Which, given that the NFLPA has had exactly two leaders in its existence, is kind of shocking. You had Gene Upshaw and you had DeMaurice Smith. So this brings us back to the Russell Wilson element of this. The reason Russell Wilson did not get his guarantees in that contract is because, in the opinion of some of the bigwigs, including the president of the NFLPA, he didn't fight hard enough. It wasn't because the owners were freezing him out. It was because he didn't fight hard enough for it. Not a great thing to see from your union leadership when you're trying to all be in lockstep because all the owners are in lockstep, so now you have to be in lockstep, and you're calling out this one guy for being too much of an idiot to get his stuff together, and that's why it's ruining it for everybody. Well, turnabout is fair play, I guess, because it's widely believed that that is the reason why this was suppressed, was because it makes the NFLPA look bad. It makes them look like they are not actually in favor of the players, because now the league can turn to it, and the arbiter can turn to it and say, well, it may have been because the NFL owners are locking you guys out, but more likely it's because, as you yourself have said, you're just not trying hard enough to get it done. That's damning. That's a damning thing.
Which it makes sense. I mean, in a corporation as big as the NFL, with the amount of money flying around, there's going to be massive corruption. It just has to be.
Yeah. But like the corruption on this scale has been crazy because what's going on, what all of this has led to is actually not any controversy for the NFL, but a fucking ton for the NFLPA. Because what ended up happening was, in all of this, when it was all dug up, a lot of skeletons came up with it. So how did we get into this position in the first place? Because DeMaurice Smith is known for litigation. He is the hammer against the ginger hammer, you know, as they call Roger Goodell. He comes in and DeMaurice Smith swings with a big hammer, two-handed. He was always about litigation, but he was on his way out. And the NFLPA wanted to go in a different direction. They wanted to try and kind of glad hand their way into some level of union with the NFL, which is a weird thing to do.
That is weird.
When one group is way overpowered of the other one.
Yeah.
I think the best way to explain this is with numbers. The NFL Players Union is worth approximately, I want to say, like a 12th, a 15th of the cost of the NFL itself. The NFL itself is a like $300-400 billion industry. It's enormous.
Ridiculous.
The NFLPA has like like $2 billion to their name. Like, they are not the NFL. The NFL, this whole idea that the reason you can't give out guaranteed contracts is because it's bad for the league is bullshit, because the NFL prints fucking money all the time. They're a non-profit. They don't pay taxes, you know, and they just print money all over the world all the time. This idea that they are hard up for cash. And that giving away guaranteed contracts is going to ruin the financial structure of the league is insane.
It's insane.
It's an insane argument to make. And yet that's what they're saying. And the only reason that this isn't holding is because the NFLPA has their pants down. The NFLPA, when they were replacing DeMaurice Smith, replaced him with a guy named Lloyd Howell. Mm-hmm. Lloyd Howell was put in place during a super secret election. How secret an election? The way that the NFLPA works is that each of the 32 teams has a representative. They send that representative to the union, so you have 32 players. Amongst those 32 players are 10 executive members who set everything up, right? Now, in a normal election, you would have about a month where it's like, okay, so these are our 6 candidates. You 32 teams, you take this back to your teams. You figure out what you want to do, who you want to vote for, and we'll all come back and vote. Mm-hmm. The NFLPA, led by this guy who said that Russell Wilson was too stupid to get his fully guaranteed contract, a guy named J.C. Treader, who was a Cleveland Browns center. I emphasize was because in a turn of irony, he was cut as part of the Deshaun Watson deal to save money. So, twist of irony, he got cut for that reason. So, he sets up this new secret system. He changes the bylaws. And now you don't know who the candidates are until you are in the room to vote that day. There is no preamble. You show up and these 10 executive members of the NFLPA introduce you to the 6 nominees or whatever it is. It actually ended up just being 2 nominees to choose from. They were not vetted by this executive group. They were vetted by a third party that was hired to vet these 2 candidates.
Oh, my God.
And so, wouldn't you know it, the candidate that won, Lloyd Howell, stole hundreds of millions of dollars from the U.S. government to cover bad transactions with the Saudis. Like hundreds of millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And when he was told by a whistleblower that they needed to address this and it would cost money, he said, we're just not going to worry about that right now. Wouldn't you know it, he's not part of that firm anymore because his firm cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. So Lloyd Howell goes straight to the NFLPA. And now he's running things there. And the last few years, he comes to power in about 2022. During that period of time, we have all kinds of things where the NFL players and Players Association are kind of stepping back and letting the NFL take more and more and more ground from them. To the degree where it's not if we're going to get an 18-game season, it's a when we're going to get an 18-game season. When they put in a 17th game, players were up in arms. They were so upset because they were like, our bodies are going to be destroyed. And now you want an 18th game because this leadership has been in place that is just giving the NFL what they want on the offhand that they can come up with a better deal later on down the road that's more economical for everybody. Mm-hmm. Which is a dumb plan because the NFL doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. They take and they take and they take and they take and they never stop taking. Ask Jerry Jones. Okay? So, the problem is Lloyd Howell likes strip clubs. Really likes strip clubs. And he spent the union money to go to strip clubs in Miami. He literally got off the plane, got in a taxi, and his first stop was not the hotel, it was a strip club where he was there for 8 hours and spent hundreds of dollars of union money. And the funniest part, this wasn't even the first time that had happened. He had done that at his last job, the one where he committed serious felony fraud.
Yeah.
Among other things, my favorite Lloyd Howell thing that I found out during this whole thing is that he wanted a bigger parking space at the NFLPA headquarters, so nobody dinged his car. Mm-hmm. And so he had a double wide space. And as with most parking garages, there's a numbering system for all the spaces, right? So you can punch in what your space is when you whatever. Lloyd Howell had them change the number on his spot to 32. 32 NFL teams, right? No. 32 specifically to honor O.J. Simpson.
Oh my God.
Specifically to honor O.J. Simpson. Like, you can't make it up.
Oh, that's so
It's
fucked up.
outrageous.
Yeah.
So why push this guy through? Well, because we go back to that whole J.C. Treader in Cleveland thing. Mm-hmm. So J.C. Treader, when he's in Cleveland, loses his job. As a result, he can't run the NFLPA. You have to be a member to be the president of the NFL, or you have to be an active player to be the president of the NFLPA. Mm-hmm. So he basically, from what we can tell, this is not proven, but from what we can tell, it seems like he sets up this shadow government election that will elect someone who doesn't know how the NFLPA works and needs a JC Treader to walk him through all the processes of the day-to-day on the NFLPA. And wouldn't you know it, JC Treader was seen working. He was there before everybody and left after everybody during the whole period of time where this was happening. Yeah. He was shadow running the PA, and Lloyd Howell was doing all the glad handing with all the owners. The problem is that this goes so deep that it represses people that should be running the NFLPA. There are clear candidates that should be running the NFLPA, and instead you have this shadow organization seemingly set up by JC Treader, who is putting into place, actively putting into place people that are just yes men, middle ground yes men who will just yes it along. So you have these people that look at Lloyd Howell's history and where his monies are coming from and all these other things, and they say this is a problem. And when they go and make their presentation for why they should be president to the union, they're in a room, they give their presentation, and then another guy comes in and gives his presentation, and then J.C. Treader comes in and explains why the first guy is bad for the union, but the second guy, who doesn't have any questions about all the inner workings of the union, is good for the union. And so he's actively politicking for one member, which he's not supposed to do. On top of everything, because we're still not done, Lloyd Howell helps the NFL sell minority shares of NFL teams. So he's the head of the NFLPA, and he's being paid by the NFL through a third group called the Carlyle Group to help advise them on selling teams.
He's like a lobbyist instead.
His conflict of interest was so incredible that at one point, when asked about conflict of interest, he said, that's not really a problem. You can get around it if you take the right steps. So it turns out both Lloyd Howell and J.C. Treader are gone. Because of course they are. Because it was such a fucking clusterfuck of a situation that between this... Remember, this all started because of this guaranteed contracts hearing. And then all the stuff with the strip clubs. And then all the stuff with the shadow organization. And then all the stuff with these elections. And all this other nonsense that's going on. So the players finally got up and said, hey, hang on. Especially players that aren't playing anymore. That have time and podcasts. Got up and said, hang on a second. Wait, whoa. This is not right. This is profoundly not right. Like, there's a level of criminality and corruption to these kinds of systems. But, like, this goes beyond that. And so they finally got rid of both of these guys. The NFLPA, in their huge brain of it all, decided not to change the system and just put into power as the interim head of the NFLPA the guy who lost to Lloyd Howell, who is essentially Lloyd Howell. And his name is David White, and he comes into our purview because he used to run SAG-AFTRA. And wouldn't you know it, David White ran SAG-AFTRA during all of those pedophilia cases that came out about 10 years ago. And as part of that, he seemingly encouraged, a lot of lawyers to file suits with some of these specific movies, including All Quiet on Set, over what they claim to be the use of the SAG logo, but essentially it was an attempted gag order to keep these movies from coming out. And now he's running the NFLPA.
That's amazing.
Because the NFLPA did not look at their shadow organization election and say, we need to change things. They said, it's good enough for now, I guess. It's an enormous clusterfuck. It's a fascinating rabbit hole to fall down.
That's unbelievable, man.
But I would highly suggest anybody go listen to Pablo Torre's coverage of it. It's very fascinating. But, like, man...
Goddamn.
It sucks. It sucks. It's bad. It's bad everywhere. And it's just more rich people who think that they can get away with things that they should know better. They should know better than to do this kind of stuff.
There's no morality once you hit that level.
That's what I'm saying, though, is that there should be morality.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be hearing about Bill Gates on Epstein's plane.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks. I heard that, and I turned to Kelly and I said, well, all it takes is one thing. You can be a great person your entire life and then do one thing wrong, and it's all gone.
Yeah.
Which is why they want to cover it up. I think you just got to not do it in the first place. That's all.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So I hope the NFLPA gets their act together. I hope that they don't just keep on rubber stamping things. I know that they won't.
They won't.
I know that this is just going to continue the same way.
Concussion stuff. It'll never happen.
Well, it goes back to how during the period before that shadow election, one of the reasons DeMaurice Smith was stepping down was because they could not get NFL players to just vote on the CBA. Mm-hmm. The CBA that went through, that's a 10-year CBA, was terrible for players, but it passed because not all players voted for it.
Yeah.
They just didn't vote. They just abstained because they didn't vote at all. And as a result, it passed, and it really fucked over players in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And the next one's going to be the exact same. How crazy is it? The NFL owners are looking at the pie that is this billion, almost $1 trillion industry, and they're saying, we're not getting enough of this pie.
Yeah.
We got to cut the players out of more of the pie. We deserve more of the revenue from this pie than the players
We're not
do.
getting enough, and we still want the local taxpayers to put in money
to pay for our stadiums.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's insane. If I didn't love the NFL, I would boycott the NFL every year.
I know, and that's my problem. Is I've been wanting to boycott it for years, and I just can't. Because I do enjoy watching it.
I love the NFL. I can't help it. I just like the Bills in my mind are in an entirely I compartmentalize the Bills. Uh-huh. They are. The NFL is terrible except for the Bills because the Bills can't be bad because I love the Bills, and if I knew the Bills were bad, I wouldn't love the Bills. I'm not going to look at the Pakula's history of anything.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ignore that and think about how after so many years we get our red helmets back in week 18. But we're getting our red helmets back in week 18. Okay, I'll take it. We're getting our throwbacks back for the first time since the pandemic. That's huge. Every other team has had throwbacks. Why haven't we had throwbacks, Terry? What's going on with that, Terry? What's happening with that?
That's the problem with sports, though, is we get so addicted to it. It is like a drug. We get addicted to it, and we overlook what we shouldn't overlook.
Yeah.
And we do it with films, and we were just talking about it with the Harry Potter. There are certain things where you're like,
yeah,
fuck.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
You want to? We talk all the time. We use this term, separating the art from the artist.
Yeah.
And it's
getting hard
when the artist keeps doing bad things because they don't think anybody's going to judge them for it. At some point, it becomes harder to separate the art from the artist. Like in the case of J.K. Rowling, and her saying, I'm just going to put money from Harry Potter directly into the TERF anti-trans movement. Then I can't like Harry Potter anymore, man. If you do that, then I can't support Harry Potter at all. Yeah. And that sucks.
And I look at my love for John Wayne movies, and then you find out how awful a human being John Wayne was.
Yeah.
We had this discussion a couple weeks ago with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
You have this love, and you find out, and you're like, God damn it.
These people are awful human beings, And for me, it will always be Kevin Spacey. I loved Kevin Spacey. And then, the craziest thing happened. And we found a line in the sand, and I said, I can't cross this line.
Yeah.
This is bad. This is really bad.
And it's like, I'll be honest, there are people that do bad things, but part of me that allows me to still watch and appreciate their art is if they just admit to it.
Yeah.
So, I know a lot of people are not a fan of him, but when Louis C.K. came out and said, listen, I did something, I didn't think it was bad at the time, I understand it's bad now, I got an issue, I'm completely in the fault.
Yeah.
It's like, I can still laugh at his jokes, and even some of his victims have come out and said, yeah, it was terrible what he did, but we forgive him or whatnot.
Well, the one
but it's just own it.
The one that always baffled me was Sarah Silverman's response to it, because she was like, I was one of the people that he jerked off to. I watched him do it, and I encouraged him to do it, and it's just like, I don't know what to do with this.
Stand-up comedy in that kind of world is a lot of depravity.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like me in the restaurant industry and in the military. you can't come from that industry and be in it for a number of years and not be slightly fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's why my vocabulary is so spectacular.
I just don't want Patton Oswalt to be a bad person.
I don't think he can be.
I just want Patton Oswalt to be like fucking. I was gonna say Bert from Mary Poppins, Dick Van Dyke. I want him to be like 90 and have entire groups of fucking flash mobbers at Disney outside his room doing these adulations to his glory.
See, I think he will be fine because he's always been the underappreciated nerd.
Yeah.
And it's like, once you get a certain... Because you got to remember, when Louis got all his power, he was huge. He was the biggest stand-up comedian in the world. Patton's never had that.
He got to Seinfeld levels, where you just have a sitcom that's your name. You don't even have anything else.
Highly critically acclaimed Seinfeld.
And not a bit show, not a
exactly.
An Amy Schumer experience or whatever it was. Like an actual sitcom named after you.
So just, if you're a piece of shit, just admit to it, live with the consequences.
Live with the consequences. At some point, you'll be allowed to come back.
Yeah.
Or start writing under a pen name. Do it like how blacklisted people in the...
But even if you don't come back, it's like, I can separate the art from the artist a little better.
Yeah. If you at least admit that you were wrong.
Exactly.
If you at least say, yes, I fucked up.
Own it.
Yes, I was wrong. Not do the thing that Kevin... Spacey did, where he was like, let me out of my cage, I learned my lesson. No.
Yeah.
None of that, my time is back. I'm coming back right now, and I'm going to be Frank from House of Cards. And I was like, this is weird.
It was so fucking
You
weird.
made this fucking weird.
And being a Celtic fan, it hurts me to say this, but you got to look at the Kobe Bryant thing.
Yeah.
He was only accused of rape. It was never actually proven. In fact, I believe the woman was something about her
I don't know
story.
if she was discredited. I know charges were dropped.
But he came out flat out and said, listen, I cheated on my wife. I had sex with this woman. I admit to it. It was a mistake. I'm a fucking flawed human being. And then did everything in his power for the rest of his life to make himself a better person. That's all I'm looking for.
As opposed to Tiger Woods, who got caught in a similar situation and tripled and quadrupled down on his bad ideas.
Because listen, man, I'm not perfect. No one is perfect. If you do something bad, horribly bad, admit to it, and then do everything in your power for the rest of your life to try to be a better person.
Learn from it and try and show that you are growing as an individual. That's what I always tell people when they get upset with... I have older relatives that struggle with pronouns sometimes, and it's not a malicious thing. It's not I refuse to acknowledge your pronouns have changed. It's I've been calling you this for decades, and it's hard for me to ka-chunk that train track over to the other side. And you can see the difference between malice and an accident. And I understand that an accident several times over can feel like malice.
We had this discussion with myself when I was dealing with the first time. It's like, I'm not against it. I'm admitting that I'm having a hard time getting used to it.
Yeah.
Because once you do something for decades, it's hard to change.
Asking for patience is one of the big things.
Exactly.
But you have to ask for it. Like so many things in life, you have to ask. You can't just expect it to fall on you like some kind of rain cloud. You have to go up and ask for it. And, anyway... That's all I had to say on that.
That was our heavy.
Let's talk about...
We have got to talk about football.
We're going to go from, God, I wish I could ignore football, to, ooh, football.
Ooh, football. Okay, so we're going to have to... We're already at like an hour and a half for the show, so
we're at an hour 15.
Hour 15, so we're in a good spot. We are going to do our yearly thing. So what we do is we're going to start with... I think we should start with the AFC, just because I think it's easily the strongest conference.
It's
by far.
I think the best way to tell is you look at the two South divisions.
Yeah.
The two South divisions in both conferences are terrible. They're both terrible. But the AFC South feels like an actual conference that can be, or division that can be won. Whereas the NFC South, I'm like, Tampa Bay.
Well, I'll be honest. Now, especially nowadays, the NFC South is a one team.
It's Tampa Bay.
It's Tampa Bay. That's it.
Everybody else is rebuilding.
Yes. And they're doing bad at it.
Whereas the AFC South has been rebuilding for 10 years.
Yeah. So we're going to go to each side. We're going to say what we think the records are going to be for each team.
Yep.
Then we're going to give our playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions, whatnot.
And this is me up top at the front of the segment saying that, yes, I am terribly biased. Yes, I will be saying that the AFC East, I hope, loses terribly.
So now here's the thing. The only bias, and I will admit to this, is I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I literally went through every record, and not record, every all the games who is playing road away. So I feel that this list is as unbiased as it can be, and I am taking into account that, and I preface this when we get to the Chiefs, that the shenanigans that went on last year, since they were called out pretty much, will not happen again. They will not have the officials on their side.
I got something about that to say when we get there.
True. But, I mean, now it's like it's out in the ether.
Oh, I'm saying that, like the Astros and their banging of garbage cans, it's not that the behavior stopped, it just changed.
Yes.
And
So we'll have to see. Okay, so AFC, got to start with the AFC East.
You always got to start with the East.
Okay, so I will go first since I know
the unbiased source.
I'm the unbiased source. So, being the unbiased source, winning the AFC East, Buffalo Bills with a 15-2 record.
Oh God, I hope.
The big reason is they don't have a very difficult schedule. You look at their schedule, it is not that difficult. Like I was going through the games, like the two losses, I know one of them is the Ravens.
Yeah,
I think
we always
have them
lose to the
splitting with
Ravens.
the Ravens, but it's like they do not have a difficult schedule. Like they play the Chiefs at home.
Yeah.
So it's like they have a lot of momentum going for them. So I have them finishing 15-2.
I mean, like we always beat the Chiefs in the regular season. That's never been the problem.
And this is where the postseason stuff's going to come into effect. Second is going to be the New England Patriots with an 8-9 record. A lot of that goes off of what they were building last year.
Yep.
I think Vrabes is a huge addition to that team, and also bringing back McDermott. The offensive coordinator. I can't think of his name.
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels. Bring McDaniels. I said McDermott. Bring McDaniels back is huge because he's proven that he is a really good offensive coordinator. He is a dog shit head coach. So having him with Vrabes, I have once again with an 8-9 record isn't high hopes, but I can see them beating the bad teams.
This is where my bias comes in. I really want them. I so terribly
But you got to remember, this is no longer the Belichick.
No. But I want. Steve, they had their time.
Yeah.
And they don't get to come back out into the sunshine
my last
yet.
one will make you happy.
No. I'm not done with this because I've been upset
you talk about
this.
it when you get to your. So I have the Jets. The rebuilding, new coach.
Yep.
New quarterback, everything, and I do love Justin Fields, and I hope I'm the best. 7-10.
Okay.
So a
bounce back season for them.
Well, they had a better record last year, didn't they? Than 7-10. I thought they were like maybe in the same realm.
In the same realm.
Yeah, and then the death nail to the current Miami Dolphins roster is a 5-12 record.
Is Tua going to get hurt again? Over under on Tua getting hurt?
Not only is the Tua thing, I don't necessarily know if he's going to get hurt. I just don't have faith anymore. As much as I love McDaniels, I don't have faith anymore.
Yeah.
And to me, it's their toughest games for them on the road are in the first half of their season. They're easier road games, but their road games in the snow or in the cold weather are in the second half of their season.
Yeah.
So I looked at that and I'm like, I don't. And they have a really kind of difficult schedule with people coming to Miami. So to me, I looked at that and I'm like, this is it. Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
You're gone, dude, after the season.
Which
much as I liked him
Yeah.
at first, but now I can understand that he was all flash, no substance.
Well, I look at him like Robert Saleh. They are people that I would covet if they weren't in my division. If I didn't have to.
But see, like Saleh, I would covet him as what he is, the defensive coordinator of San Francisco.
I think that he got a raw deal.
Oh, he got a raw deal.
I think he could do it. Maybe not under those circumstances.
See, I don't think he has that head coach aura to run the whole thing.
I think if he had a quarterback that was on the same wavelength, but he never did. He had Zach Wilson, who he was constantly mopping up after. He had Tyrod Taylor, who's good but not great. He could be, but he's always a stand-in. And he had Aaron Rodgers, who is always just going to do his own thing and refuse high fives. And then he got fired, and we saw how bad the Jets were without him. So,
mainly for that was because of the defense.
Well, but why was the defense so bad?
Because he was gone.
Because Robert Saleh was a defensive-minded coach.
Exactly.
And the guy that was coaching the defense had to be elevated to head coach.
Yes.
And so you have this situation where no one's leading the defense anymore because the defensive coordinator is now the head coach because the defensive-minded coach who was helping him is gone.
Yeah.
Because Woody Johnson has a big dick and wants to make sure you know it.
He probably has a tiny dick. And
that's really what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he wants you to think he has a big dick.
So that was me, AFC East, Bills 15-2.
I will agree with you in that I want the Bills to be great. God, I need this to be our year. I can't take this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take it anymore, Steve. It's the will they won't they of it all. This is worse than Sam and Diane. I can't with this. So we had the chance to finish up all of our business last year. The refs stole it from us. Mm-hmm. I'm still mad. There's again in the long line of documentaries about the last 10 years that I'm going to make. There's a really good documentary in my brain somewhere about how the Bills have just been robbed over and over and over again, and would have made at least one Super Bowl if not for one of these ticky-tacky stupid calls that doesn't really apply to the situation.
Yeah, but it all started with McDermott not being able to stop Patrick Mahomes with 13 seconds left to getting a field goal.
That's true. That is true. I don't have a rebuttal on that.
My brother's team name is still Fire McDermott because he's still mad from that.
Well, so this is my thing, is that I coined this term last year and I'm going to continue to use it. The Bills' success is going to be not based on Josh Allen, unless he gets hurt. Knock on wood, he won't get hurt.
No.
But dude just got married. He doesn't deserve to get injured.
I agree.
mean, and who doesn't want to be nursed back to health by Haley Steinfeld? But like, still, if we can get over the terrible, scratchy, flaky, itchy case of McDermottitis that we had last year, because I agree with you, some of those losses were fully on him.
Oh, absolutely.
That Texans loss, fully on McDermott.
Doesn't know how to make those late game
He does not.
calls.
He does not. And there's a reason why I say it's that red, itchy, scratchy, flaky McDermottitis, because he is flaky.
He is flaky.
But I do hope that this is our year. We have a good wide receiver core for the first time. No big names, but I'll take it. I'm happy with it. If we maybe make a trade in the middle of the season, I wouldn't say no. Our tight ends are coming along nicely.
Yep.
I really think
our re-signed your running back.
Thank God we finally
who
got.
I picked up in my first fantasy football league draft, which I looked at everyone. I'm like, he scored 16 rushing touchdowns last year. No one. I got him in like the 5th round.
Tiberius, now that he's signed, I think James Tiberius Cook is gonna be just a fucking.
I think he's gonna be amazing.
He's a cannon.
Yeah.
And I like the guys behind him too. So I think that the running game's gonna be good.
The funny part is people are always like, well, he's a good supplement to the other running back. He's a good supplement to the other running back, who's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is like
we have
the
4
Derrick
running
Henry.
backs.
Yeah.
And so we have the 3 guys and then Josh.
Yeah.
But we have 4 running backs. So I do hope the Bills are capable this year. More than capable. I want them to win. And so 15-2 sounds great to me. I will take 15-2 happily with a big old plate. I have concerns over being necessarily the number 1 seed. I think being the number 1 seed is a mixed bag at times, depending on situations. I see a lot of number 1 seeds in the last 10 years.
I don't have Buffalo being the number 1 seed in the AFC.
You have Kansas City getting more help, I see.
No.
Baltimore?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
You gotta tell your team.
I so badly want New England to be 3-14. I want it to be a cataclysmic failure because all of the Bostonians are already thumping. They are acting like they've been in the doldrums for 20 years and it's their time. Dude, you've been in there for 3 years.
I was going to say, it hasn't been a long time.
You've been in there for 3 years. You get back in that basement. You have not gotten out of that basement yet, and you do not deserve to get out of that basement yet. So I don't want to, this is why I'm upset, is because I am legitimately worried, because I hate Vrabel. I've hated him since he was a player. I've always hated Vrabel, and now he's here. Fucking, I hate McDaniels. I've always hated McDaniels. He's a fucking piece of shit, literally and on the field. I don't like that Drake May is so good. I really dislike that. I hope Diggsy is just a cataclysmic failure.
He's going to be a failure.
That gets traded out of town midseason. I want him to get traded to Dallas.
He'll be done.
Like, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him out. I want the Patriots to be so bad that Bostonians are weeping into their Cheerios every morning.
They're Dunkin'.
They're Dunkin', yes. The Jets, I am also worried about, because I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to be a bad coach. Now, I said the same thing about Saleh. I said the exact same thing about Saleh.
But it took years, and Saleh was bad because he's new to being a head coach.
So I'm very curious to see how that goes. between him and Justin Fields, it's either going to work or it's not. I don't really see a middle ground on this. But I could see them going like a solid 8-9. I think they could do an 8-9. 8-9 sounds plausible for the Jets.
This is in the realm of it.
Which unfortunately means we're probably going to split with them, which I hate. I want every season to be a season where we sweep the division. The only reason we didn't last year was because we had already made the playoffs and we didn't fucking need to play against the Patriots. And by them winning, they lost draft placement, so it worked out kind of well. Unless their tackle is really good, in which case it's not great. The Dolphins, my hated Dolphins. And I do end up having a little bit of conflict here because I also like McDaniel. I do, but
I
like his swag.
I think with his feet against the fire, I don't know if he's going to be able to react to it.
But that's the thing, is that I think that this is going to be the first season of real internal problems.
Yeah.
Between Tua getting hurt all the time and Tyreek Hill being...
His brain is going to burst. He's going to let all of the bad out.
I'm so worried. Both of them. I'm worried about Tua literally and Tyreek metaphorically.
Exactly.
But I just look at Tyreek and his situation. I think they made him a captain pretty much because they had to. And it just, like, even the people in Miami are like, this smells like it's going to be a bad season, guys.
Oh, it's not going to be
This smells like cooked fish. And
not going to be good.
So I hope that's the case because I fucking hate the Dolphins. And I would love for the Dolphins to be so bad that McDaniel gets kicked out of the division. That'd be great. You go anywhere else, I'm happy. Hell, I'll give you anywhere else in the AFC. I prefer you in the NFC, but I'll give you anywhere else in the AFC if you want to go. Just don't come here. I don't want you here. I don't want you being my headache, okay? I think you're a swaggy guy. I think you're really cool. I don't want you in my life, okay? No hard feelings. Get out of here. Unless you want to be our offensive coordinator, in which case we can talk. So ultimately, I think the Dolphins. I would love to see the Dolphins also go like 4-13. Like, I would just fucking love that. That'd be great. Whether it's going to happen or not is another question. So,
okay, so now we're on to the North, which to me is going to be the number one division in the AFC. So number one, Baltimore Ravens, 16-1. I'm going undefeated. But looking at their schedule, it is very favorable, especially a lot of the road games. And they, to me, as much as the Bills have that chip on their shoulder, I think the Ravens are the only other team in the NFL who has an equally sized chip on their shoulder.
Oh, absolutely.
And the way that they are, like, a lot of people, especially, once again, during my draft, everyone was busting on, I can't remember who picked up Derrick Henry. I'm like, he doesn't need to be, and I use this analogy to my nephew because he's like, oh, he's old, and I'm like, you don't remember Jerome Bettis at the end of his career? He didn't need to be this
bulldozing.
Awesome. That's
there
what
is
Derrick
no
Henry
speed.
is.
It is all power.
Exactly, and he still has freakish speed. But you give him the ball in the red zone, he will get in that fucking end zone.
Yeah,
and
they just need Mark Andrews to stop dropping passes. As a team that benefited enormously by Mark Andrews' slippery fingers, I am so grateful because we were going to lose that game.
Yeah.
We were 100% going to lose that game.
Yeah.
And then, whoops.
Yeah.
So if you can get that solved, I think that solves an enormous amount of your problems. So Isaiah likely might be the solution here.
I think Baltimore's going to be crushing everybody this year, to be honest.
And they just got a wide receiver, too. I can't remember who, but I think they drafted a wide receiver or somebody. Yeah.
My second place team, and this one was tough. A lot of their matchups, I was looking at them from a defensive side, and I had the Cincinnati Bengals at 12-5. The reason I have them 12-5 is the games where I was like, ooh, their defense is going to get torched. I looked at the other team's defense, and I'm like, they're going to be able to put up. This team will be able to put up 40 points a game.
Yeah.
With their offense the way it is. So to me, I'm like, all right, I was being super critical of them with all the issues going on with Trey Hendrickson and all that stuff going on. Everyone on the offensive side having their money, I'm like, oh man, it's going to be tough to stop. And Joe Burrow really is, in my opinion, from a pure passing point of view, is the best quarterback in the league.
I would agree with that. He is definitely the best
so
passer.
Dead on.
He has that Joe Montana flair.
Oh yes, he does.
It's effortless.
Yes.
No, I would agree. The Bengals give me the sense of the classic Saints, Colts, just these offenses that run, and we don't play defense. we don't have to play defense because we're going to score 50. So if you can score 50 with us with our porous defense, then that's what you're going to have to do to win.
I agree. And then third, I have Pittsburgh Steelers at 11-6.
Yep.
Which is, I believe, only one game better than last year. But you look at their, having Aaron Rodgers, who knows how he's going to be, getting rid of what's his nuts who went to the Cowboys.
Pickett,
who was an absolute basket.
Pickens.
And getting Metcalf.
Yeah.
It's like I can see them going, once again, I have them losing in the first round of the playoffs, but I can see them being able to squeak out 11 wins.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, the abysmal Cleveland Browns won. And I was honestly trying to do everything in my power to have them go without a win this year.
Yeah.
But I found a game where I think it's again Tennessee, where I think they'll win 1-16. I think they're the worst team in the NFL.
This is our chance to finally talk about the Browns.
Yes.
Because this has been brewing on the back of the stove for months, and it's the funniest fucking thing to ever happen. This is incredible.
Yeah.
We are watching owner tampering in real time.
Because is this the third or fourth year that Deshaun was on the team?
This is
the third year, right?
The third year.
And he's already officially... unofficially no longer part of that team.
No, not true. The Browns technically have 6 quarterbacks.
That's why I said unofficially.
Yes.
Because he will never see the field again.
Theoretically, and I say theoretically because he's still under contract and he's still going to expect to play when he's healthy, which is currently slated to be about November.
Yes.
So, for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, the Browns have been hilarious for the last 20 years.
Oh, it's been
they had
since they came back.
They had their team stripped from them by Art Modell, and then they were such an institution that the NFL rebirthed them.
Yes.
And ever since that rebirth, they have been atrocious.
God, terrible.
And when they are good, the very next season, they take immaculate measures to become terrible again.
But that's the thing, is you have this team that had a quarterback that brought him to the playoffs in Baker Mayfield.
Yes!
And then you shoot him out.
You had it solved!
To bring in a habitual rapist.
Again, anybody who doesn't know, the Browns, one of the memes around the Browns has been that you just take a jersey and you stick a name on it because they've had so many quarterbacks in 20 years. God. A laughable amount of quarterbacks. The
only team that has had more is the Chicago Bears, to be honest.
I don't even know if that's true.
It's close.
I think the Browns have had the most quarterbacks over the course of a period of time. We're to the point when I was 10 years ago, when this meme started, it was 2 lines of names. We're now to the point where it's 3 lines of names, and they're going to have to shrink the text so that they can put a 4th line of names on, because the Browns have 6 quarterbacks on the team. So what had happened was Deshaun Watson comes in, and because of that, Baker Mayfield has to go. Baker Mayfield just got them to the playoffs. I guess fuck that, because Jimmy Haslam wants Deshaun Watson and signs him to that enormous contract that we were talking about earlier. And Deshaun Watson fucking sucks. On top of being a terrible human being, he's a not good quarterback on top of everything else, and definitely not worth the amount of money and draft picks that they paid for him. So Deshaun gets injured last year, and he's been so bad that people cheer for him. And then in a absolutely hilarious turn that had me trying not to scream on an airplane when I was watching the footage of it on my way back from England, you saw Jameis Winston and Myles Garrett, 2 people who are also not good people, defending Deshaun Watson and saying things like he has to fight for his life on the field. He could die at any time. It's unfair for all of these people to boo him when he is a stand-up person and a role model in the community.
So in the last decade, the Bears have had 13 starting quarterbacks. The Browns have had 17.
Yeah. There you go.
17 in 10 years.
In 10 years. That's outrageous. The Bills have had 3.
Yeah.
In that same period.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. This is what it looks like to be successful versus not successful. And when they had it, they said, no, shiny object over here. Let's go and get the rapist.
Yeah.
So the Browns now are without a quarterback. So they come into this year and they're like, okay, so we already, after everything happened with Deshaun Watson, we brought in Joe Flacco, and he was really good for us. He got us to the playoffs, but then we got rid of him because that's what we do, so we can keep Deshaun Watson. And then Deshaun Watson was terrible, so now we're bringing back in Joe Flacco. So that's 2. Okay, so then we have to have a young person because Joe Flacco is ancient and Deshaun Watson is injured, so we're going to bring in Kenny Pickett. We're going to trade value with the Eagles
for Kenny Pickett.
Okay, whose biggest thing that he's done is take the victory formation in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
That's his biggest claim to fame, and fake sliding. You would know he would be a better quarterback if we didn't still talk about him being a fake slider.
And him picking a Pickett reminds me of back in the day when the Chicago Bears from Seattle got Rick Meyer and thought he was going to be their go, and he lasted half a season.
Yeah. So now you have 3. So the point at which this becomes hilarious is the draft. During the draft, they draft Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. And we're all like, okay, makes sense, right? You need a quarterback. You don't want Shador. He's still there. Fine, you take Gabriel. And now Jimmy Haslam comes in. And while he says that he did not make this call, and all the people in the front office who are paid by Jimmy Haslam say that he did not make this call, you can fucking tell that Jimmy Haslam came into the room and said, we are taking Shador Sanders. He is too high a value for us not to take. We just took a quarterback 2 rounds ago, and we could have taken Shador, but he's still here. So now we're going to take a second quarterback who has been passed on by the entire league 5 times over in this draft because he's such a character flag. Not because he doesn't necessarily have talent, but because his talent doesn't outweigh how bad his character is.
Here's my conspiracy theory on this. I think the owner knows that they're going to be bad this year.
So he can fire Stefanski and bring in Deion
Sanders.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing that makes sense. And the only way this comes to fruition is start of season if Shador's still on the team.
Yeah.
Because he is still, I think, ranked number 4.
He's 3 or 4th on the depth chart.
Yeah. So,
but then, on top of everything else, all of these quarterbacks start getting injured in camp. So they bring Tyler Snoop Huntley onto the team. So now they have 6. Now they have 6 quarterbacks. The saying is when you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. They have 6.
Yeah.
So what's the plan here? Joe Flacco's going to start the season. We know that.
Yep.
Is there a further plan?
And all 5 of your other ones combined don't equal Deshaun Watson's fucking salary. That's the funniest part.
And at the end of all of this, Deshaun's going to want to play when he's healthy in November.
I still say I don't think he's ever going to step foot on an NFL field. Not even just that. I don't think he's going to step foot on an NFL field ever again.
I could see a world where, let's say, the Raiders. The Raiders think that they're a quarterback away, and Geno's not doing it.
You know why they wouldn't do it? Brady wouldn't do it.
Are you sure?
I'm 1,000% sure.
Are you sure? Because I've seen Brady say things a lot and then do the exact opposite.
But I don't see him bringing Deshaun.
I don't know. He brought in Antonio Brown.
Yeah, but I think Antonio Brown was a stopgap. I think they knew there wasn't really any really good coaching candidates until and I still don't know how much pull he had last year when they brought Antonio Brown in.
Yeah.
This year he seems to have quite a bit more impact.
It seemed like he had some pull last year, but I'm just talking about in Tampa when he insisted on putting Antonio Brown on the team.
Oh, you're talking about that, yeah.
In spite of all of his problems.
It got him a Super Bowl, though.
It did. No, but I'm just saying Tom Brady can say whatever he wants to in front of the cameras.
But here's the thing, though. He's smart enough to know you can't have a person like Antonio Brown at the quarterback position. You can't. He could have Antonio Brown as like his 3rd or 4th option as a playmaker on the field. But you can't. Of all the positions, Brady will not just bring in anybody.
I don't know. I think if Brady sees the fire and the work ethic in Deshaun, he's going to be willing to overlook everything else. I don't know if he has it, but if Brady sees it, then I think he's going to overlook everything else.
Because that was always the problem with Deshaun in Cleveland is he was too dumb to be able to change how he is to this system of play that Stefanski? No, Stefanski.
Yeah, Stefanski.
In Cleveland. He, like when he had Deshaun Watson...
Yeah.
Watson was... So they were trying to tailor their offense to Watson.
They changed it to his college Clemson offense.
because he was too dumb to try to pick up.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I don't think that worth ethic's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Because you need to have some kind of an intellect.
Well, and there's a reason why he's fallen off a cliff.
Exactly.
So no, I agree with you, but oh my God, Cleveland, can you not for like 5 minutes? And also, you just submitted the weakest card I've ever seen and said, okay, we don't want to play in Cleveland anymore and we're going to get a dome because it's too cold outside.
Yeah.
Babies! They're babies!
That's the point of playing in Cleveland.
Yes!
That's
the advantage.
Yes.
Look at Green Bay. Look at Buffalo. Look at Boston. Yes. What do these things have in common? Look at Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Fucking Pittsburgh. Baltimore. Come on. What are we talking about here?
Look what happens when these dome and hot weather teams have to go. Like that below zero game in Kansas City against Miami. Miami, in my opinion, was a better team, and Kansas City blew them out because it was minus 20 degrees out.
Well, I was always so mad when we had to play our game back when we were still playing games in Toronto, which might be coming back at some point. Who can fucking say? But I was always so mad when we would have to play Miami and Toronto because it was a dome game.
Yep.
And I'm like, you're taking away our advantage.
Exactly.
That's part of the advantage over them is that it's for the same reason that I hate playing Miami in Buffalo in September. Mm-hmm. I would much rather play Miami in Buffalo in December.
Gotcha.
And play Miami in October.
Exactly.
When it's still hot.
Which I believe that's how the season's going this year.
I hope so, because that's my
I believe they're playing
favorite.
Miami. I think it is actually October. It's not the first year like it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it is going to be when it's a little cooler in Miami and not the 90 degrees.
As long as it's not like that one game.
Oh, that was the worst.
No, it's September 18th. We're still in
it's
red
still
hot
heat,
zones. Yeah. It's still possible.
But I think Buffalo will be
no, September 18th is Miami is coming to Buffalo. And then November
so
we're going
switched.
to.
Okay.
So we're not getting our snow game.
Though.
It's fine.
That's still better.
Ricky Williams, Frozen Dreads.
Yeah,
that's all I can tell you.
So what is your?
I agree with you. I agree with you on all of your placements. Maybe not necessarily on all of the standings, but I would say your placements. I think the Ravens are fed up. I think you're right. The Ravens are just as fed up as we are.
They're going to be really mad.
And I think that the Bengals are going to fully abandon defense.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to sign Trey Hendrickson. They're either going to say you can either come and play or we'll trade you halfway through the season after fining you a bunch of games. But I don't think they're going to sign him to a new contract, which is fucking criminal. I really want to see. I didn't used to hate the Steelers, but the last few years I've really started hating the Steelers. And I think it's just in my blood. My dad hates the Steelers, and I think it's just something there. There's just some element. They're the closest NFL team to us, technically speaking. So even though they're not in our division, there's a kind of a backyard animus to them. But I just, between the Aaron Rodgers coverage, which was so obnoxious.
Oh, it was
and
beyond
the only thing worse than the coverage was all the people submitting the coverage being like, God, I wish we could talk about literally anything else. You fucking can. There's baseball. There's basketball. There's fucking hockey. There's, goddammit, there's soccer. You could talk about women's basketball if you wanted to. They're still playing. You want to do anything? No? We're just going to do Aaron Rodgers watch. Are you sure?
Man.
Are you sure?
That's why there's a network specifically for football.
It just made me so mad. Yeah. I was just like, this fucking sucks. And then he finally signs, and everybody's like, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. I would love for it to be another 9-8 season. That would make me terribly happy for them to have a 9-8 season and then just fall back on Aaron's still learning the system and he's still getting on the same page with DJ.
This is his only year.
Yeah.
He's retiring after
this. Well, we'll see. So. I hope it's a massive failure just because I used to love Aaron Rodgers when he was early in his mustache era.
Yeah.
Like that period from 2010 through like 2016. I was like, I love this guy. This guy's cool. And then I don't know what happened, but he baked his brain somehow.
He's just a fucking
idiot now. And the Browns are the Browns.
Yeah, they're dog shit. All right, so the weakest division in the AFC. Well, actually, yeah, kind of.
Oh, it is.
AFC South. So I currently have the Texans, which is the only good team. They're kind of like the Tampa Bay Bucks. I have them 14-3.
Yeah,
I like what they've been doing. I loved them last year. I think that D'Amico Ryans as a coach is awesome. I think the whole team is just. I think getting rid of Diggs.
Yeah,
is going to be a boost.
Diggs is a cancer.
He is.
I want to love Diggs. I want to go back to the Diggs Allen posters that were all over Rochester years ago. He's a fucking cancer. He's got hands of stone, and he's injury prone now. And he gives out pink powder to women on boats when he's supposed to be at practice.
Yeah, he's a fuck him. My number 2 in that division at a paltry 9-8 is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Which is still up for the Jags.
It is up for the Jags. I see them hitting that mediocrity stage. Like, they've been bad. They're going to be mediocre. So 9-8, you're not going to make the playoffs, but you're going to be above 500.
You'll win a few games every once in a while.
And tying at 2-15 are the Colts and the Titans.
Yeah, they're both going to be bad.
They're both going to be bad.
They're both going to be bad. I agree with you on all of this.
And the whole Danny Dimes on the Colts.
This is the thing.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
This is the thing. So Houston, I agree fully. The only thing I have to add is Houston, stop chomping our flavor. You're a horned ungulate wearing blue and red.
Yes.
Stop chomping on our flavor. Go get something else. Go anywhere, even if it's just changing the color scheme. I don't care, but just get something else. It doesn't even make sense to have your thing be a bull if you're the Texans.
I never understood that.
Just get this shit out of here, okay? Stop chomping on our flavor.
Go back to baby blue when you were the
Right?
Yeah.
But, oh my God, the Jags, Titans, and Colts, I think are going to be varying levels of terrible.
Titans are going to be horrible.
The Jaguars are such a weird animal because they are good when I hate them to be good and bad when I want them to be good. And usually it's when they play us. It's very frustrating to have a bad team that plays badly other places play good against you, and you're like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in their new coach.
No.
I think their new coach is going to be here for 2 years and then he's gone.
Yep.
Or he would be if this was any other team, but with Shad Khan, he's going to keep him around for 7 years and then be like, yeah, this Liam Cohen thing's not working. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. And I don't know that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the savior that everybody thought he was going to be.
No.
He has not grown as a quarterback at all. No. And then you get the Danny Dimes of it all. Like, there's nothing to say about the Titans. What are you going to say about the Titans? They have a new coach who was, he brought in his dad to be the offensive coordinator. So he's a Nepo baby on top of everything else. And they have a new quarterback who nobody talked about because we were too busy talking about Shedeur Sanders.
And they were, that is a team that is still to this day reeling from a couple years ago losing Vrabel and Henry.
Well,
they've never been able to.
The death knell, we heard it. We saw it on national TV. When they traded A.J. Brown and then drafted his comp, that was the first death knell of the Titans.
Yep.
That was it. That was the end of the game. And they have not recovered from that to the point where they are still shedding parts, trying to figure out who to blame for that misconduct.
And at one point, if they had an actual quarterback instead of Tannehill, they could have easily gotten to the Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That one year where they got hot, if they had a better quarterback. Totally. Yeah. Even if Tannehill just hadn't gotten hurt, it's like there were a lot of ifs in that. But I agree. Tannehill is like, he is like upper mediocre, but that means he's still in the mediocre.
He's still in the mediocre.
And then speaking of the mediocre, God damn it, the Colts can't figure out what to do with quarterback. No. They just don't know.
And they have new ownership, new coaching.
Yeah, Jim Irsay kicked
rotation.
It, which I don't like being, crass about people dying, but Jim Irsay is not a good person.
No.
And his dad was not a good person. He's not a good person. I hope his daughters are better people because they're running the team now. I like that there's so many more female owners, except that they're all Nepo babies.
Yeah,
all of them won ownership from their fathers.
All I can think about is the Lakers, and it gives me fucking indigestion.
Genie Bus. Yeah. So I just don't think the Colts are going to be good at all this year.
They're going to be terrible.
I almost wonder if at some point they're going to tank in the middle of the year so that they can have the second coming of Manning and try and draft Arch next year.
Could be.
I could easily see them doing that.
Or the Browns will just draft the 7th quarterback.
People are legitimately saying that the Browns are doing this to be terrible.
Yeah.
And just select yet another quarterback next year and start all over again, which is incredible.
This whole thing is
unreal.
Insane. Now we get to the West.
Yes.
This is where I'm going to get pushback from people that I know, but I am going to stick with this, and I don't give a fuck. I'm putting this first one, winning the West, depends on if the coach gets repercussions, being Jim Harbaugh, for the whole Michigan debacle.
He hasn't. They've already announced
so
it.
Then I think we'll be fine. It's going to blow over once the season starts.
Oh, so, Michigan barely got repercussions for that.
Well, I know that's true too. So the Chargers are going to be 14-3. That's my goal with them. I once again, I think Herbert, he's a solid quarterback. They need to have some kind of a breakout season with him, and I think the second season under Harbaugh is going to be beneficial because I do love him as a coach, and I do think he is going to make that team better. Same thing goes with the Broncos, who I have at 12-5. I think, a second year with Bo Nix looking as good as he did, the new running back, which is supposed to be the second coming of Emmitt Smith, and then you have another season under Sean Payton. I think they're going to be solid. I have the Chiefs at 9-8.
God,
this is the reason why I have them at 9-8.
Yeah, because Taylor Swift's going to go on tour.
No, I don't give a fuck what people say about Kermit.
Yeah,
Mahomes has not had a good season for, it's been, 3 seasons since he's had a solid quarterback
since
season.
he had that MVP.
He has quite literally been the middle-of-the-road quarterback.
Yeah.
They have been relying on their defense and on getting these fucking calls from the refs.
Oh, they have been buoyed by the refs.
Oh, 1,000%.
To a hilarious degree.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about it last year, but I want to talk about it again because we missed most of the season last year. The nature of Kansas City being buoyed by the refs. Yes. You can say whatever you want. I see it every game. It is unmistakable.
Oh,
you
absolutely
see it all
unmistakable.
The time. And by the time you get to the end of the season and you have that terrible call where a guy who's behind the play runs up and respots the ball to say that Josh is short.
Yeah.
In the championship game.
Yeah.
On the final drive.
Yeah.
He was behind the play. How in the world could he see where the play ended? Yeah. There's no way.
We could do a whole show on the fucking calls.
And so,
but then there's
anybody who doesn't know, they got rid of all those refs.
Yes.
4 refs were dismissed, or I guess demoted. They were sent back to college.
But once again, I think what's going to keep this from happening is now that it's really out there in the world, the first time there's an event like this, it's going to become just the only thing anyone's going to talk about.
Well, let me introduce you to it happening right now. One of the big pieces of this Chiefs machine is Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice was caught on camera.
Yes.
Street racing in Dallas.
Yes.
Injuring several people, sending them to the hospital.
Yes.
Crashing 2 cars, among others. The 2 cars that were racing crashed, and they crashed into several other cars. I think it was 5 cars total. All caught on camera.
Yes.
He pled guilty to felony charges. Okay? At the same time, I'm forgetting who specifically right now, but a similar player on another team had a similar thing happen. Actually, a lesser thing because it wasn't caught on camera. I think it was a drug charge. Or drunk driving. That was it. He was caught drunk driving. He was arrested. He pled guilty. The NFL has already heard the case for this other player and handed down the suspension for this other player. These events happened on the same day. Rashee Rice has not had his day in court yet.
His hearing's supposed to be in October.
His hearing's not until October.
Yes.
They could have scheduled it at any time. These 2 events happened on the same day.
Yes.
Rashee Rice still has not had his chance to be heard in court, even though he spent time in jail for what he did. And the NFL is just kind of twiddling their thumbs. Nothing to see here. We definitely don't want the Chiefs to get off to a cold start. We definitely don't want that. So I guess we're just going to wait and see if maybe it's more punishing to have him not be there in the second half of the season, because we're just going to let them have the first 6 fucking games with one of their top weapons. Now, I don't know if you want to talk to the Bengals about what a cold start can do to a season, but it seems to me that you are once again putting your thumb on the scale to give the Chiefs an advantage that they shouldn't have. This guy should not be on the field for the first 6 games of the year. Period.
So now, and this is where...
It was Addison in Minnesota was the other player.
Addison, Minnesota. This is where I agree with you, but this is where that started the season. So my reasoning with the Chiefs is they're going to lose him. I think there's no doubt he's going to get some kind of suspension. So they're going to lose Rashee Rice potentially for at least a month, maybe 2. Travis Kelce, I'm sorry. He's old. His body is not going to hold up.
I love the Kelce boys.
Yes.
I kind of hope Travis gets out of the spotlight so I can enjoy him without having to be annoyed at him.
But here's the Chiefs' start that they're going to have Rashee Rice at the Chargers starting the year. That, to me, I see as a loss. At home against the Eagles, Super Bowl, coming back up, Eagles are a much better team than the Chiefs.
Which they showed.
So I see that as a loss. On the road against the Giants, that's their first win. At home against the Ravens, I see the Ravens going in there and making a statement and beating the living shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 1-3 right there. And then they're on the road against the Jaguars, which, I'll be honest with you, coin flip. I will give the Chiefs the benefit of the doubt. So right there, the first 5 games is 2-3. Then they lose with Rasheed Rice. Their next games after that,
Lions.
against the Lions, against the Raiders, who plays them tough, against the Commanders,
And by then,
and then
Rasheed
on the
Rice's-
road against the Bills, and then the Broncos.
By then, Rasheed Rice's hearing will have come and gone.
And
so
he'll
he
be
may
gone.
have been suspended.
But, like, that is a stretch, dude. So, like, that's why I am saying I think the Chiefs, all the Chiefs fans that think this is the next coming of the Patriots, to me, there's the big difference. As much as you hate Belichick's, and I hate Belichick, he was the thing that I hated the most about the Patriots. Him being a douchebag and rotating out players before they hit the Travis Kelce stage, bringing in young, better, and bringing in talent
To the point
while
where-
keeping that one, and I still say I don't give a fuck. You can say what you want about Mahomes and his athleticism being better than Brady. He is not the leader because even Brady has said, he's come out and said, he goes, I would write the fucking offensive game plans for our fucking team.
Brady refused to lose.
He refused.
He refuses to lose.
Yes. He had a interview recently where he went over the shit he would do. Like, I understand why his wife left him, because he would not give a fuck about anything but football. Mahomes is not like that.
Yeah.
Mahomes likes the
He's
fucking
on commercials
flash.
all
He's
the
on
time.
commercials. He's doing all that stuff. So to me, I see the Kansas City Chiefs 9-8, and that's not making the playoffs.
I hope you're right.
And then at the bottom is the Raiders at 7-10. I don't think they're going to be bad. They're not going to be good. 7-10 is not a success, but they're going to be good enough to get some wins.
They're going to be on the low end of mediocre.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I don't have necessarily the same feeling that the Chiefs are going to be in the doldrums this year. God, I hope. God, I want it so bad, but I just don't know that it's going to happen because the NFL makes more money when the Chiefs are good, and it's as simple as that.
They do, but I think the blowback they got, and they understand that now the Chiefs are not the Cowboys. They're not America's team now. People hate the Chiefs as much as they hated the Patriots.
Yeah, but
and
hate still means you're watching.
No, but just think about what the NFL did to try to fuck the Patriots, because they hated the fact that they were assholes and that the country hated them. They want a team that people love. Right now, people love, like, the Eagles.
Yeah.
Even though their fucking coach is kind of a lunatic.
Yes.
They love teams like that. People love the Chargers.
Yeah.
They love these teams, and the reason why I think the Chiefs are going to be shitty, or not shitty, but they're going to take a big step down, is the AFC is so fucking
It is stacked.
strong.
And the AFC as a conference has been building itself to try and beat the Chiefs for a few years now.
And that's the thing.
So I also really wonder about the Chiefs' offensive line. They've had a lot of offensive line turnover. That can be a big deal. I really think it comes down to how much the NFL is willing to put their thumb on the scale.
Yeah.
Because everybody points to the Chiefs losing the Super Bowl and says, oh, but that's evidence that they didn't have their thumb on the scale. Did you watch that game? There were so many moments where the NFL tried to swing it in the Chiefs' favor, and it got away from them to the point where the NFL was like, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
We can only do so much to give you an upper hand, and at some point you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what fucking happened in that game.
Yep.
There were multiple drives that were stopped by bad flags that the announcers themselves were like, well, that's not a good call, in front of the entire country.
Yep.
So I think I agree with you in this. I think, or at least I really hope, that the NFL has learned their lesson vis-a-vis being caught helping the Chiefs win. I don't think that they have. I think that they're going to try and come up with new, more discreet ways to help the Chiefs win.
I'm going to equate this, and this is going to sound like a bad analogy, but it's the only analogy I can think of. The Epstein thing.
Yeah.
You had all of these people that thought, I'm on board with Trump, and I'm on board with what the Republicans are doing, so they're going to take care of this Epstein thing. And then now that it's come out that, oh, wait a second, their thumb is definitely on the scale, and there's shenanigans going on here, anything that comes out now is going to be super criticized by the people that were originally supporting them. That's what's happening with this official thing now, where everyone saw last year. And for those apologists that are Chiefs fans that said, oh, there was... You're not
out of
watching
your
the fucking
mind.
games, dude.
You're out of your mind.
It was ridiculous.
It was to the point where I was saying if I was a Chiefs fan, I would acknowledge it to say stop doing it.
Yeah.
You're delegitimizing our success by making it seem like it's being held up by other people who want us to be successful.
Yeah.
We want to be seen as successful on our own. We don't want daddy holding our hand
Exactly.
and being the Nepo baby of the NFL. And so I hope you're right. I do think the Chargers are probably going to finish second. I do have the Chiefs finishing first just because I got to see it to believe it. I really wonder how the whole Raiders thing is going to go because I like Pete Carroll, but he's old.
He is old.
And Gino is almost as old.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious how that's going to go.
The
think Raiders are not a well-run organization.
No, but I think that what they're doing right about this year is that this is the year to rebuild the structure, like the basic foundation of the team. So you're going to bring in a solid coach. You're going to bring in a solid quarterback that are at the end of the run, build that foundation, and then grow from that.
Yeah.
And just change the whole structure of the team.
What I hope they do is find a good lieutenant for Carroll so he can retire in like a year and a half and hand it off to someone else.
Yeah.
And, I think that's your best option. I think these flash-in-the-pan moves that you've been going for, or just hire Rich Bisaccia.
Yeah.
Stop with the charade. Just hire Rich Bisaccia like you should have always done.
That's true.
I don't know what.
So,
NFC.
Playoffs for the AFC right now.
Yes.
I have Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Houston, Denver, Chargers. That's my playoff teams. I have the AFC Championship game, Buffalo at Baltimore.
That'd be good.
And Baltimore winning.
Yeah.
I hate to say it for Buffalo, but both teams, I think if it is those two teams, whoever has the home field advantage, because both of them are in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
They need to prove that they are Super Bowl worthy teams by A, beating the Chiefs in the postseason, and B, getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So whoever has home field in that game is going to win that game.
I'm going to say Bills, Ravens, Bengals, Houston, nobody else from the South. I don't want to give it to the Steelers, so I'm going to say 3 teams out of the West. Chiefs, Chargers,
I still think
Broncos.
the Broncos can be good.
I think the Broncos can be good, which is why I don't want to pick them, because I don't like it when the Broncos are good.
Yeah.
It's a pain in my ass.
That's true.
So that would be my pick.
Okay. Who you have going to the Super Bowl?
I gotta stick with my boys.
Buffalo.
If I don't believe and it happens, then I'll be upset. I gotta believe.
I think a big thing with Buffalo, once again, is the health of the defense.
Yeah.
If their defense can stay healthy.
If we can get our cornerback situation under control, listen, we got rid of Kyer Elam.
Yeah.
He's gone. He was a full failure. We brought in this new guy who was real cool at the draft. If we can get our secondary system in a good place with Hamlin on his full recovery road now, I'm just going to step aside really quick. How the fuck has Hamlin been nominated twice for Comeback Player of the Year and not won either time?
I have no
That's
idea.
to people who came off the couch both times.
Yeah.
Both times! Which is insane! What the fuck is wrong with
then
you?
Also, like Bosa, can he stay healthy?
I don't think so. Listen, Joey Bosa to
Matt
me
Milano,
is...
can he stay healthy for once in his
that's a
fucking
good
career?
question. See, I'm glad that we have other guys on that defensive core that can take on the responsibility of that, because I agree, Matt Milano, if he can stay healthy, he will be great.
Yeah.
But at least we have guys behind him who can pick up the flag and keep running. Joey Bosa, I think, is going to be like Von Miller. I think he's going to be a partial factor, but not a real factor.
Hopefully, I mean, if they can get one or like Von Miller that first season, was a huge game changer.
Yeah.
If they could do that, and get him a Super Bowl run this one season, that could be a changer.
I'm glad Vaughn's gone.
Yeah,
I'm very glad Vaughn is out of here finally. I don't know that Bosa is going to be enough to really push us over the top, but every little bit helps. I just think he's probably going to get injured in Week 5, and that's going to be it.
I got you. All right, yeah, we got to make it to the NFC. We got to kind of burn through this. We're running real long. So NFC East. So I have Philadelphia 15-2. I don't see Philadelphia taking a step back. They're still a really solid team.
No, all the things that made Philadelphia quasi problematic last year have all been resolved and not been replaced with new problems. So
the only problem we could see is a rebirth of the Madden curse.
Yes,
and if that happens,
if Saquon gets injured,
we're fucked.
That's going to change.
Second is Washington 13-4.
Yeah.
Third, Dallas, 7-10. Mm-hmm. I don't even have them. But the funny part is, at 7-10, I actually have them making the playoffs. That's
really? That's how bad the NFC is?
And then the Giants, I have at 2-15. I think they're going to be just a train wreck. They can't make up their mind on quarterback.
Yeah.
Neighbors, if he doesn't get his touches, he's going to become an issue.
Yep.
And I
think
he's...
I think that Daboll is like some of the other guys that we've been talking about. I think he's a better coordinator than he is a head coach, which breaks my heart because I really like Daboll. From the area, good guy. Seems like a good guy anyway. But I agree with you. I think they need to trade Jameis, get him out of there, and tell Russell, listen, you're going to start for 3 games, and then Jackson Dart's coming in. He's the future. We're not playing around with this. Yeah. And if you got a problem with that, we can trade you midseason. But I agree. 3 quarterbacks is too many quarterbacks. Yeah. That's not a solution. And Dallas, really quick, I know we don't have time, but we just got to touch on Jerry Jones being an absolute sociopath.
He's the worst thing that's happened in the NFL.
He's outrageous. Like, he has gotten to this point where we all have known for a while now that he's not worried with Dallas being good. He's worried with Dallas being relevant. Yeah. And so being relevant doesn't mean being good. Being relevant just means that you're talked about a lot. And so Jerry will go out of his way to do all these crazy shenanigan things. And the latest thing is with Micah Parsons and that whole thing where he's like, well, we had a handshake deal. Dude, you refused to talk to his agent. Yeah. You refused to give the numbers to his agent. You refused to have the agent in the room. You worked Micah over to try and keep the agent out of the room. Yeah. You can't turn around and be like, well, we had a deal. You clearly didn't. No. You clearly didn't.
He was talking about his agent as if he was, he can just fill out the paperwork. That's what agents supposed to do. No, this is what the lawyers do. Yeah. The agent's supposed to negotiate, then the lawyers figure out the language in the paperwork.
Well, and like he compared Micah to a child.
Yeah. With the mommy-daddy
With the mommy-daddy thing. And it was just like, what the actual fuck is wrong with you?
I'll be honest, though. The only way that this starts to change is if Micah Parsons does not sign with them.
I really want Parsons to hold out and get traded.
He's got to.
I really want that for him.
He absolutely has to.
I want it for Cowboy fans. Yeah. Here's my thing. My best friend is a Cowboy fan. I don't like the Cowboys, but I have a soft spot for them because of my best friend. For his sake, they need to trade Micah. Because you can't have the 3 contracts, Micah, Lamb, and Dak, all on the team. There's literally no money for anybody else. Yeah. Because Jerry is such a terrible negotiator.
Yeah, he's horrible.
He's the worst negotiator.
He's the worst GM, and I never thought I would say that knowing how bad a GM Bill Belichick was. Jerry Jones makes Bill Belichick look like the greatest general manager in the history of the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah. He is an absolutely atrocious GM, and he's becoming increasingly senile.
Yes.
Like, he really needs to be put in a room where they have 90s footage. Yeah. And just, hey, Jerry, we're building a team. It's 1992. Here are all your options.
But, like, here's the thing, is I don't think they're going to trade Parsons. So it's up to Parsons to just say, my back hurts, I am not playing.
I won't play. Yeah.
He cannot play a game.
No, don't play.
Or if he does, it'll continue.
To say nothing of the fact that he has alternate forms of income coming in.
Yeah.
So it's not even like he's going to get fined game checks and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
and
he's got money.
Millions of fucking dollars. I'm sorry, you made enough money to last a normal human being a lifetime.
Yeah.
Already.
You can hold out a few weeks.
Or just say, hey, I retire.
Yeah.
And then in a year or two. Exactly. Pull a Gronk, and in a year or two when his eligibility's up, as long as he stays in shape, I guarantee teams will fucking take
100%. He'll come out of retirement that afternoon if teams give Jerry the right amount of money.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just that he won't play for Jerry.
No.
No, but I agree. I think that the Eagles are it, and I really do think Washington's going to be great, although I also think that Washington is kind of a baby for getting a dome built in the middle of RFK Stadium. You're a baby. You're a baby. You're a baby.
But I do like the fact that they told Trump to go fuck himself.
I like that, and I like that Dan Snyder has to watch all of this happen.
I know.
It makes me so happy.
It makes me happy. All right, so NFC North. So I am...
Another contentious
Now, once
division.
again, I want to stress this to people. This is not me being biased. This is me looking at the current landscape of not only the league, but these teams.
Do you have the Bears winning
I have
the
Bears
division?
are 14-3.
Wow.
The big thing for the Bears, they have the same weapons and offensive and defensive talent they had last year.
But without Eberflus.
Their coaching staff, the one coach that people aren't talking about is Eric Bieniemy.
Is he on Chicago?
He is one of their defensive position coaches.
No kidding.
And watching him in training camp and practice screaming, and that's the difference. The Bears have not had a disciplinarian coach for fucking ever, starting before Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
These coaches are getting on these fucking players and giving them shit. And if you look at it, and I'm sorry, I love Tyson as a gadget, and the fact that they just signed him as their backup going forward makes me so happy. And his preseason has been fucking ridiculous. Against the Chiefs, he threw the game-winning touchdowns this last game. I think he's had like multiple touchdowns and almost no picks. And also, Caleb has been playing out of his ass in this preseason, like amazingly well.
Well, and now he actually has a coach that coaches him. Eberflus was such a spectacular failure that
Unbelievable.
Caleb had to teach himself how to watch film.
Yeah.
Because the Bears coaching staff didn't set aside anyone to watch film with the starting quarterback. Are you fucking kidding me?
But DJ Moore's going to blow up this year. I think Roma Duze is going to blow up this year.
I think Roma's going to have a huge
year.
They
got great tight ends, solid.
They got a new one,
game.
Loveland.
Yep, who is kind of like iffy injury-wise, but I think he's coming off of just like a little nothing major. Okay, so this is where the people are going to call me a hater. I looked at schedules, once again. I did this completely looking at what these teams. Detroit at 6-11.
Whoa!
The big reason is I still believe a lot of their
success
came off of Ben Johnson and what he did with that offense.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, their defense is still not going to be spectacular coming off last year. They're still getting over a lot of their injuries. And offensively, I think they're going to take a major step back. I do feel like the balloon around Goff is going to pop. I think it is too. And they have a very difficult schedule, like an insanely difficult schedule, and that's a big thing. Next, I have the Packers at 5-12. I think the Packers also are going to have that bubble. The three teams, because that leaves Minnesota at 4-11 or 4-13. All of them have taken step backs, if either position-wise, coordinator-wise. I think the aura on these teams is going to take a massive hit, and a lot of people are like, well, the Bears. The only reason I'm having this. If you look at the talent level, coaching and player-wise, none of these teams are what the Bears are at. I'm sorry. They're just not. And you can say what you want about LaFleur and how he's this great coach. I still don't think Jordan Love is the answer.
Yeah.
I think he's too turnover-prone, and he's too injury-prone, and he's coming off that hand injury. I know it's his non-throwing hand, but it's like you look at a lot of the things going on with these teams. I don't think J.J. McCarthy with the Vikings in his true rookie year, they're putting a lot of pressure on this guy that, okay, you could have started last year, but you were severely injured, and then we have this guy that was this throwaway from every other team in the NFL come in and show that it's a system that you can throw a system quarterback in, but how well are you going to hold up? Because you still haven't proved.
Well, and you think about what happened with Sam Darnold. Because Sam Darnold, I think, is the reason why you could say that the Vikings could be good, but I agree with you. It comes down to how J.J. McCarthy plays.
Yeah.
Because Sam Darnold played really well in the system, and when he played really badly, what happened? They stunk.
Exactly.
They were really bad.
And he played badly in the games that
mattered most.
Exactly.
The last 2 games of the year, he played shitty.
So that makes you wonder about the coaching also.
See, I think O'Connell, I think he's actually a really great coach. I think that defense is the thing that's going to be the big thing. Is that Brian Flores has this wild defense that is just running around madcap. So I don't have it as striking as you. I would have, I think it's tough. I still have the Lions winning the division because while I anticipate that they will have a step back, I think that they still have enough talent on the team to buoy themselves. Honestly, I would be more worried about the defense losing Aaron Glenn than the offense losing Ben Johnson. Because I don't think that there's any leadership on the defense. And so whereas there's leadership on the offense...
What leadership goes on the offense?
Unfortunately, it's Goff and St. Brown.
That's what I mean, though.
And so, I think... And Gibbs.
Yeah.
Gibbs in his second year. But I think that there's still people that can buoy the sentiment that was there. I don't know if there's anyone to do that on the defense. So I could see them taking a serious step back. I don't think that the North is going to be the powerhouse that it was last year.
No, not
but
anymore.
I don't think that it's going to be as big as what you're saying. I do think that Green Bay is going to take a step back because I agree with you. I do not think Jordan Love is the answer. No. I just don't believe it.
No.
I see it with my eyes, and I'm still like, I don't know, guys. You know, the fucking Pasternaut, what's his nuts? Josh Jacobs, not Josh Jacobs, whatever his name is. He had a few great weeks, and then he fully fell off a cliff. And so, I don't know. I don't believe in Jordan Love. We'll see. I just don't believe it. But I do think Matt LaFleur is a really, really good coach. So
I think he's a good offensive mind, but the defense is
the defense has had issues, and they've lost some major players off that defense. So it's I do think that they're going to take a step back. I would guess that they're probably going to end up being around 10-7 this year. I think the Vikings are probably going to end with 12 wins. I think the Bears are going to take a big step up. So I think the Bears are probably going to end with like around the same, like 11, 12 wins. Mm-hmm. So it's really going to be a mosh pit to see who wins that division.
Okay, so NFC South. I'm not even going to talk about the other teams.
There's no point. It's Tampa Bay.
15-2.
Who else is going to? So either Bryce Young has an enormous year, or Tyler Shuck ends up being the next him.
And I honestly, and I've been hearing some commentators talk about this, and it is true. Tampa Bay might make some noise this year.
Yeah.
Now they've had a couple years under Baker. Last year they
got hot,
pretty solid.
Yeah.
If they can stay healthy, I think that team can make some serious noise.
And the sound coming off Baker matches the team so well. There's such a harmony between those two elements.
I fucking love him.
And it's like they take his brashness and they say, that's us. We're going to be brash. No, I agree. Atlanta, I think, is going to be a problem.
Garbage.
I mean, like, unless their new kid is really good, like really, really good, I just don't think Penix is going to do it. And then you're going to have the whole Kirk Cousins thing looming over him.
Who's still on the fucking team, which blows my mind.
To say nothing of the fact that Atlanta has had all these weapons for years, and they still don't know what to do with them.
No idea.
In the same way that I was just talking about how the North is going to be good based on the coaches, not off the players.
Yeah.
Who is going to coach Atlanta up? Raheem Morris? He's not gonna get them over that line. No. And same with the other two. It's just like this is
the Saints and the Panthers are
Bryce Young is either gonna be great or he's gonna be mediocre. And the Panthers are going to follow suit. They don't have anybody on defense. They've been shelling parts for years, so they're either going to be a happy surprise or very mediocre. And the Saints are in full rebuilding mode. They might be going after Arch Manning next year.
They might be.
For a second return of the Manning.
Makes sense because it'll be another Manning with them. All right, and then I'm going to finish with the West. So this one is going to have a couple surprise teams. Now, I'm basing my Rams pick on the fact that they're not going to have Stafford. Because I think the back issue is
more serious than they're saying.
Worse thing, yes. From somebody that has a bad back and I don't get hit, it's a much worse thing. I still think the 49ers are going to be the first one at 13-4. I think they're going to have a solid season. Once again, a lot of that depends on the health. It did help that they picked up Robinson Jr. from Washington as a backup running back.
Yes.
Huge. They have a really good running back.
Brian Robinson, I wish we had gotten him. We were going to get him for like a few hours. And then...
I know the wide receivers, they lost Samuels, and Ayuk isn't going to be back for another couple months.
Here's my thing. Samuels is a great wide receiver when he's healthy.
When he wants to be, too.
And Ayuk is like that on steroids.
Yeah.
Ayuk either never wants to play or doesn't want to play today.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I never, when everybody was scrambling for Ayuk last year, I was like, why? Mm-hmm. Why? There's better players out there. Why are you all getting all up on Ayuk? Mm-hmm. Even on the Niners, there are better wide receivers. Ricky Pearsall is going to be really good.
Yep.
Jawan Jennings has been great the last few years.
Honestly, the big thing with them is I think their defense is finally going to get back to form because of Saleh.
Saleh's back.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. It wasn't even the offense when I picked these games. A lot of it was the defense.
Yeah.
I think the defense is going to be fucking...
Those parts are still there.
Yeah.
They did shed a lot of pieces, but I think they've picked up some new ones that are unknown.
They shed a bunch of names that maybe were getting to the end of their road,
on their line,
which unfortunately.
Yeah. Which, like, hey, if you guys feel like George Kittle is on the end of his rope, I will take a George Kittle. I'll take a George Kittle. I'll give you somebody.
Number 2 is going to be the Arizona Cardinals. I think are going to be better this year, 11-6.
I think so too.
Yeah. I really think they're gonna make some noise.
Yeah, I think their coaches is Gannon or something. I can't remember, but
Harrison Jr. I think is gonna have a big year.
I think that's the thing. Yeah, is that they have all these pieces that I think are finally going to gel if they do gel. This is always the thing with Kyler Murray.
Exactly.
Is that is Kyler going to be a consistent player or is Kyler going to be something else? He's either the Kool-Aid man or he's a problem the other way. Mm-hmm. And as someone who got Kool-Aid man, I did not care for it. It sucked. It was bad. The Hail Murray, hated it, not good, disliked it greatly. So I have a lot of respect for Kool-Aid Man, but like, it doesn't always work out that way, and you don't have a reason why. You look at it and you're just like, but why isn't it working? So that's, I think I would have them third in the division.
Well, that's the thing though. The Rams I have at 7-10 and third in the division. The reason is, once again, you take Stafford out. I know you got Devontae Adams. but your backup is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
We saw how that worked with Jimmy Garoppolo and Devontae Adams with the Raiders. Did not work.
Jimmy is as injured as Stafford
Exactly.
without any of the upside.
Exactly. So you're very likely having a journeyman third-string quarterback being your quarterback running your team.
They're going to trade for Jameis or Russell. They're going to trade the Giants for one of their quarterbacks. Or maybe they're going to trade for Pickett.
It might.
You
But,
know?
yeah, it's...
Because I agree with you. When I first heard about the Stafford injury, I was like, it's probably nothing. And then the media kept reporting on it. I was like, that probably means it's nothing because the media likes to try and sniff around things that aren't anything. But the more you smell it, the more you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I get holding him out of the entire preseason. That's fine. But that means he's going to be very rusty to start the year. And I love Matt Stafford. He is a fighter.
Thing about back injuries, they never get 100%.
Mm-hmm.
He gets one good hit, he is done.
Well, and not only that, you think that he was drafted the year after Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
So that's how long he's been here for.
Yeah.
So you kind of wonder
Yeah.
if this is going to be the end of it.
I think he's, 37 or
He's
something
up
like
there.
that. So with that, at that age with a back injury, I wish he would have just hung it up.
I think he probably should have, and I think he knows that too, which is why he went for that big contract push this last year, was because he knew it was just about over and this was really his last chance to get paid.
These guys kill me with these contract push. They've made hundreds of millions of dollars. It's like, dude, just fucking enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy sitting on his bed in his 50s hearing voices because you hung on too long.
Yeah.
That's what it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And then I have the Seahawks, which I think are kind of in rebuild mode, 6-11. They got Darnold, but I don't think Darnold's magic is going to transition over
No,
to
they
the
have Darnold
Seahawks.
and a rookie,
Yeah.
and that's their plan. And I agree with you. I don't think that this is going to work.
No.
Their coaching staff is not good. There's nothing there. I look at the options that they have. They won the Sam Darnold sweepstakes. Congratulations, I guess. I don't think Sam Darnold's a viable option. I don't. I think we have a lot of tape on Sam Darnold, and I love this idea that quarterbacks take longer to develop than they used to, and you just got to give them time. And I've seen him play, and I don't think it's there. I've never thought it was there. So I don't know. It could work. I could be wrong. I agree with you. I think San Francisco is going to take this division. I think especially if they learn to move away from some of their mainstays that they were leaning heavily on, your Christian McCaffreys and whatnot,
Yes.
and learn to try and stand up on their own, I think that's going to help. Brock Purdy has to have a big year
like
this
Brock
year.
Purdy.
I think he can do
He got
it.
paid. He got, $50 million?
I think he got overpaid. I think he got overpaid. But again, I'm of the mindset, and I hear more and more teams and media people talking about this idea of make your money on the back end as a quarterback. And as a quarterback, your job is to make the least amount of money on the team so that money can go towards people helping you.
Exactamundo.
And
another lesson, none of these quarterbacks are from Tom Brady.
No.
It's like I remember one of his contracts where he's like, if I can't feed my family on like $15 million a year, what the fuck am
I doing?
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, and Brock knows this because Purdy was living on like $200,000 a month or something.
Yeah.
He was still making bank, but not nearly what NFL players make.
Yeah.
And so, and in San Francisco, you got to make rank. Who would have thought that San Francisco was going to become the new Mecca? That was weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Remember when San Francisco was just a place with a bridge?
So, NFC title game, I have Tampa going to Philly and Philly winning.
Yeah.
And then having, once again, Baltimore, Philly in the Super Bowl with Baltimore finally getting their Super Bowl.
That would be a good Super Bowl.
I think it would.
A bird Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Very
East Coast, very hard-nosed.
Yes. Very, very beltway.
And you have the selling point of the two running backs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'll be the top of the line. Even though you have MVP, I don't think Jalen Hurts, was he in contention for MVP ever?
He was up for MVP, but he wasn't like a
he was
finalist.
like third or fourth, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. So him and Lamar Jackson is going to be a headline, but then you have Barkley
and Henry,
and it's like, dude, that would be a really good Super Bowl.
I am similar to you. I have Eagles, Commanders, Bucks, Lions. I'll say Bears, Vikings. So that's 5. I need 2 more. We'll say San Francisco and Arizona would be my pick. Talking about it and realizing that the Rams don't have a backup plan for Stafford, I agree. That bumps them to 3rd place. I would love to see San Francisco and Philadelphia in the championship game. I think that would be a fucking raucous championship game. And then I really want, like, my heart pick that I've been picking for over 10 years is Detroit-Buffalo. And I will continue to pick that as long as it is a viable option. But I will defer to the great Chris Berman. I will happily take Buffalo, San Francisco. 100%. That'd be a great Super Bowl.
That'd be a great Super Bowl. And I do have to throw in there part of my playoff bracket, because I even went like round 1 and round 2.
Wow, look at you.
Oh, I went crazy last night. I have Chicago going to Tampa for round 2 of the playoffs. And if that happens, for those of you who are listening who don't remember, Tampa used to be in Chicago's division.
Yes.
And if that happens, Tampa has to wear the old
orange.
creamsicle.
Yes.
They have to. If they're a Chicago-Tampa game, they fucking have to.
Children these days will never know the joy of the second Bay of Pigs.
Oh, my God.
Green Bay versus Tampa Bay used to be appointment viewing.
Best.
Oh, my God.
The best.
So good.
So good. So that is our NFL show, folks. We really hope you enjoy it. Please make sure to let me know all of the criticism over especially my Kansas City Chiefs calls.
I'm guessing MVP is probably going to be Lamar Jackson just because he almost had it last year, and I think he's going to be mad that he didn't get it.
I don't think it's going to be Lamar.
You think it's going to be Mahomes?
No, I don't think it's going to be Mahomes. I honestly, in my heart, believe it is going to be a Josh
2.0. That'd be fucking great.
I really do believe it.
I'd
because
love it.
that team, above any other team, is going to be make or break on Josh Allen.
Oh, it's all on Josh.
Yes.
We don't have a backup plan.
You can't say the Mahomes thing because their defense is what bailed them out the last couple of years. Josh is the make or break, and I think he's going, once again, coming off of the wedding, having something to prove. Lamar is going to have that type of season where people are going to be like, oh, he should be MVP, kind of like it was last year, where everyone said, oh, Lamar, but Josh was kind of better. You know what I mean? I think Josh Allen is going to get the MVP again.
Knowing that Mitch Trubisky is the one behind him, I think is motivation enough to keep his ass over the fire.
Even though I got to say the best Mitch has looked is when he was back up for... I think that's why he went back to Buffalo. Because that's when he's looked at his best.
Yeah.
And if I was him, I'd be like, listen, you pay me whatever the fuck you want to pay me. Leave me on this bench behind Josh.
Yeah.
And I will be more than happy to end my career, Charlie Batch style, behind whoever the quarterback is.
Honestly, if you can live with not having the glory, having a career backup quarterback job sounds like the best job in the NFL.
Well, that's why I am so tickled about Tyson Badgett. I love this guy, and he's in his, I believe this is his 3rd year, because his first year was the year before Caleb. Mm-hmm. And he's awesome, and he's a solid quarterback, but he got this money. It was like, I think it's 2 years, $10 million. And he was like crying. He was so happy because the coaches were singing his praises. And everyone's like, he's such a hard worker and he's such a great guy. And it's like, dude, that is a backup. And he appreciates $5 million a year. In what world can you not appreciate $5 million a year?
Right.
And then I think he has provisions that can make it up to $16 million total for a 2-year contract. But if I was him, I'd be like,
fuck yeah,
keep signing me. I will do these 5 years because, like you said, his body's not going to get destroyed.
Yeah,
his family can set roots in Chicago, dude.
Well, like all you do is you have the bug in your ear, so you can help relay plays. You're going over things on the tablet. You're watching film during the week. You have to be ready to step into the game in case anything happens. But like. That sounds like the best job of all time.
Yeah. And he has proven, at least in this preseason and in last year, he had solid runs in playing. He can come in and be that backup that can win games.
You know you've reached middle age when you're like, God, I just wish I was a backup QB. I don't even need to be the starter. I just want to be the backup. Let me just warm a bench.
Yeah. So Nerd Generations, episode 170 is in the books. We really hope you enjoyed it. This was a marathon one for
2 weeks in a row. Jesus.
Yeah. So anyways, nerdpodgen.com is where you can go to look up anything Nerdpod Generations. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. And now who does our artwork and our music?
Our art is by Kortney Howell. Our theme song is by Brendan Williams and James Connolly. I am Alfred Judson.
Next week might be
Alien
Thunderbolt
Earth.
Week.
Oh God, I forgot. I was like, we might have something good to talk about.
We'll have to see, folks. But anyways, make sure to check in next week.
We didn't even get to talking about Kevin Feige, Bo DeMeo.
No, we can't.
We can't get into that now.
Unless I get home.
We'll talk about that next week. Have a great week, friends and enemies.
All right, peace out.